Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we've got signal and we are live. Welcome back to another episode of the Mining Market Signal. My name is Seth, and of course you're watching this on the YouTube channel Mind Your Biz, or you're watching it after the fact on YouTube or maybe on Odyssey. Please remember to subscribe to us there. It definitely helps keep this platform in check to know that we have options. So you being here live, that helps. You hitting that thumbs up, that helps. You being subscribed helps, and clicking the notification icon helps. It assists in promoting this content in the algorithms. But again, you being over on odyssey.com also lets these guys know that they're not the only game in town. Thank you so much. Let me jump right out of the way. Go straight into the Fear and Greed Index. We had a score of 47 yesterday, and we're going to refresh this to get the real-time score of the Fear and Greed Index, 45. We've actually dipped down even further into a bit of despair, right? We're not totally in fear yet, but we're definitely not in greedy territory. And we've been talking about for weeks, about the better part of about a month, that we probably needed to come up with some kind of a strategy to figure out how we were going to average out. Again, not advice, because that's really not what we do here. But, you know, for my part, I like playing it a little more safe and using the Fear and Greed Index as a counter indicator. So this here just tells us what everybody else is feeling, and then we can adjust usually by doing the opposite, right? But if everybody else is zigging, we want to zag. If everybody is fearful, we want to be maybe a little bit more on the greedy side. If they're more greedy, we want to maybe start taking precautions. So definitely, it's not for lack of trying. Those of us here have been saying the same thing, right, over and over again, that there's too much greed in the markets and that we probably need to sober up just a little bit. Let me shout out our comments right now. Anonymous Miner jumped in a couple minutes ago, said, Sam is here with throwing up a peace sign. MC says, what up, fellas? Guys, we are live. You don't have to super chat. We're not that big a channel. We don't have to super chat or do anything special or fancy to get my attention in the comments, other than just, you know, whatever, be like a genuine person and not a troll or, you know, like mean anyway, right? If you're gonna be mean, at least be funny. But if you're really not that funny, just don't talk. That's kind of the rule, right? Like, otherwise, costs nothing to interact, costs nothing to be nice too, right? And to help other people out. That's half the fun of having people in live comments. So if somebody has a question, ask it. If somebody has an answer it, right? It's okay. We're all learning. And if you make a mistake, right, be bold and answer with what you think you've learned so far. Maybe you're a little bit newer in this space. Be bold. It's like learning a foreign language. If you don't make a few mistakes, you're never going to really learn. So go ahead and be helpful to other people. It helps everybody involved, and, you know, not the least of which you, right? So that's why we're here, is for you. Anyway, our Fear and Greed Index right now, it is at a score of 45. Again, this is neutral territory. This is not fearful, but it's definitely not greedy. Came down from a score of 78 at the high for last week. I guess the average for last week was 74, but let's take a look at that chart. We've got it right now for the last month, roughly. It's a pretty sharp dip. You see that right there for the trend, going all the way down from 79 just the day before. Now, what happened here? Well, in case you're under a rock, we live streamed on Monday, and we talked about the news of Bitcoin being adopted by El Salvador as legal tender. And, you know, I had mixed views about that, if you recall. I said I'm not really convinced that the people of El Salvador all want that. And I think that they may have good reason still to be doubtful of it and at least a little bit cautious as they roll out the adoption of Bitcoin. However, with such an incredibly public adoption story being told all around the world about, you know, huge investors, institutions, and whales everywhere, you know, we all had fair warning that this was going to happen in a country like El Salvador on that date, yesterday. Everybody asked me, hey, Seth, do you want to buy $30 worth of Bitcoin tonight to show solidarity with El Salvador? And I was a little bit reluctant, if you recall. I was a little bit reluctant because I was worried about potential manipulation. What did we get? We got manipulation from huge whales who dumped on these people. Their airdrop that was $30 got chopped down by, 20%. Welcome to Bitcoin. Here's your 20% drawdown on day one. That's what they experienced. Hey, Donat is in the comments section saying, hi, all. Woohoo, never been so early. Appreciate that you're here. But let's talk about this, right? The fear and greed index. Jump back in time by about 3 months or take a look at the last quarter. We're not nearly as fearful as we were before the rise up, right? Before Bitcoin's run up and the subsequent greed set in, right? Generally speaking, greed tends to go up after price goes up. They're pretty highly correlated, but it definitely has to do with Bitcoin going up first. Once people see proof that Bitcoin's going up, they get greedy, generally speaking. Guys, I'm just going to take another quick moment to thank you for being here live. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up. Thank you for sharing this video live and bringing in more live viewers so we have comments to interact with. We have questions to answer. That's half the fun, is the live interaction. I could always pre-record these, right? I could pre-record these and I could just post them and go spend the evening playing whatever, playing cards with my kids. I'm spending this time with you. Thanks for doing me that solid and bringing people in that we can ask questions from and that we can answer questions for. Morning Rise says, just got into mining yesterday, got a mini Doge LTC S-Crypt miner. Looking to mine Ravencoin via GPUs. Thoughts? That's a tough one. We go over GPU mining efficiency or GPU mining profitability on this show live twice a week. And on a third live stream throughout the week, we also touch on it again. And when it comes to S-Crypt mining, I think you're in a really great spot right there, mining Doge and Litecoin. Changing hardware configurations over to GPU will be a little bit more work for you. But a lot of us here are big fans, me included. I really like GPUs because they have that secondary market after you're done mining with them, and they resell a lot better than, spoiler alert, hard drives or other kinds of mining equipment after you're done with them. So I think GPUs are great. I think Ravencoin isn't going anywhere. It's here to stay. As far as its price, as far as its future, man, I don't have a crystal ball, but I know that GPU mining is definitely here to stay. It has come back into vogue multiple times since Bitcoin launched, and I don't foresee GPU mining going away. BTM says, do you see any future in stopping to mine ETH to start mining Ergo now? That's a great question. We'll take a look at the profitability charts, and I'll just say off the cuff for my part, much bigger fan of sticking with Ethereum for now. And I think that the profitability, that as it does drop off for GPUs, the value of the rewards that GPU miners get will go up considerably higher. So it makes a lot more sense to kind of store up that value as a GPU miner now. But of course, if you don't want to make that bet on Ethereum, then Ergo might not be the worst choice for you. I don't have as much faith in Ergo as like Ben Armstrong does over at BitBoy. The BitBoy channel, he's definitely kind of an Ergo bull and a Cardano believer, and I respect him, for having that very strong opinion. I just don't agree with it. So I'm not really a big fan, but we'll go into that in just a minute. Let's take a look at this. Oh my gosh, we got Bitcoin Jake showing the eyeballs, like whoop, big eyeballs. Says, if you ever want to talk crypto and Minecraft, hit me up, crypto fam. Sweet. That's awesome. Yeah, I've got to rebuild the Minecraft or the gaming rig that I had for the boys before, because I had all the like custom shaders and stuff, all the other like mod packs to make it look like photorealistic for them. Just because when you got a lot of GPUs, like because you're GPU mining, like why not throw all the mod packs in there? They're all whatever GPU enabled anyway, GPU accelerated anyway. So it makes it more fun, right? To have the mod packs that give you like infinite depth and like photorealistic textures and, photorealistic water and everything else. Like it's all fun because your computer can handle it. I mean, like if you got a computer that can play whatever the latest AAA titles and you're modding up Minecraft, it can look pretty dope, right? So yeah, we have to take a look at that. Just a minute. Donat says Vega 56, 190 mega hash for Ergo at 140 watts. That's pretty cool. And Alexander says, I used to play modded 1.7.10. Haha. Yeah, man. I mean, it's fun, right? Like, that's half the fun. For a little while, I was talking to the rest of the mining community. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get myself in trouble here. I was talking I was talking to like so there's a there's a chat that I have with a couple of people who are like mining content creators in this space, like, you know, people who are like roughly the same size as my channel, be like guys like Cursed Mining, who's finally coming up. I think he just crossed 9,000 subs. Cursed, if you're in the audience, or if you guys don't watch Cursed Mining, you should totally sub. Let's get him up past the 10,000 subscriber mark. He totally deserves it. He puts in so much work into his media, and he's like try or quadlingual. He speaks like a bajillion languages because of where he lives in the world. He's just like this super intelligent guy. Anyway, I digress. I talked about this like with this group about us putting together a regular or semi-regular streaming event where we all played Gary's mod, right? But where we did like this custom like mining themed edition of Gary's mod, and we just made it like total mayhem, but like crypto mining related with GPUs. And I couldn't wrap my head around how we would make that happen yet, but I don't know. Maybe someday we'll get to do that. And I don't know, guys, with when we lost Savage, it kind of hit us all pretty hard. And I'm just thinking like, I don't think I should wait any longer. I think we should do something with the rest of the crypto mining content creators so that we're spending this time live streaming anyway, preparing content anyway. We should probably do some more of that crossover hangout content. So just saying, man. Anyway, let me jump out of the way. I'm getting a little bit sappy here. But here on the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, guys, we were in fear before. We are not, I don't think, going to dip back into fear. I think we're going to stay somewhere here in kind of like the neutral territory until we see a leg back up in the bull market. Because the bull market, in my opinion, far from over. It's not done yet. It's got more gas left in it. However, we may see a little bit of a tapering off in Bitcoin's price, and we may see lower highs, if that makes sense. So we'll see a sawtooth pattern down. We're not going to see 65 before we see like maybe 35 again. We're not going to see 55 after that until we see like maybe 30 again. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to call out specific levels here, but I am going to say it is going to, I think that it's going to be a sawtooth pattern down. Huge shout out to Richard Hart because he is calling that pattern. And while I don't agree with him on everything, I do agree that that's probably the kind of energy that Bitcoin's going to exhibit until it shoots up for one last blow off top in this bull run. Just my take on it, right? Just my take on it. Is it advice? Obviously, I already ran the card. You know it's not advice. I'm just saying that this market is kind of crazy, and I don't think we're going to go past neutral feelings until we get maybe towards that final valley of despair, right? That final little like dumpening event where we see Bitcoin's new lowest price or its new lowest high. And then we go into the lowest low of this segment of the bull run. And then we see some kind of a return to extremely positive price action, resulting in some kind of a double blow off top, something along those lines. Again, don't quote me. And it's never going to do exactly what we think right when we think it. Donat says, I don't trust that guy. I'm not gonna read it word for word. I apologize. I see what you mean. I understand the sentiment. I do. And it's very easy to be dismissive of somebody's opinion because they're so passionate about a different project. But I do think that there is a little bit of method to that madness, and it's not just marketing spin trying to shill some other project. I think there are some really good, strong technicals there as well, going into an analysis like that of Bitcoin. We got some comments coming in that I may be able to catch up on. Alexander asks, by the way, do you know how many GPUs you can run on Hive OS? I think you do 16 to 20 cards. I ordered a Xeon mining motherboard, so I'll be doing some tests to see how many GPUs will work on Hive. And MC chimes in, thank you so much for giving a response there. Says you can do as many workers as you want in Hive. Yes. So to your point, you can do as many workers as you want in Hive. And I believe, at least as of the last time that I checked, that Hive, a given worker, can support as many GPUs as the host device will support. So Bits Be Trippin', guys, shout out to the OG. He's an amazing content creator, but not just content creator, but miner in the space. Anonymous Miners in the chat, thanks for being here, brother. Thank you. So as far as scaling up, Bits Be Trippin', he was able to run, I think, something like 24 GPUs on a Windows machine way back when there was barely support for it. Like he's done some really, really wacky tests, and he's proven some stuff in hardware that we just didn't have a really good foundation to understand. when I reached out to the MMPOS developers, they were kind enough to accommodate my request to get more than I think it was 16 was the X Windows limit, or the Xcode limit. Now it was a windowing system, the windowing system inside of Linux that created a hard limit in terms of the driver support for all the GPUs that can be run on Ubuntu, which is the base operating system for Hive and for Simple Mining and for MMPOS and a few others as well, right? So like Rave OS and gosh, whatever it was called before, Hashrate OS. So they all shared that limit. The dudes over at MMPOS, they rewrote a custom implementation of this library, this windowing library, to allow me to run on behalf of a client that I was building out systems for, allow me to run 18 and 19 GPU systems. There were very specific reasons for doing it. I don't advise anybody else to do it. I'm not saying that's the way you should run your rigs, but I am going to say that I know for a fact MMPOS can run a significant number of GPUs. But they do have a per, like they view the GPU count as the number of workers, whereas in Hive OS, if you can jam it onto one system, it's all one worker. So yeah, to what the question was before, to speak precisely to Alexander's question from before, that should still just be one system under Hive OS, and in your dashboard still just be viewed as one worker. If you can manage to jam like 25 GPUs onto there, then great. I'm not sure if Hive OS has that updated windowing system library, so it's a little bit of an issue there, but they may have gotten that. I want to say that the MMPOS developers shared that with Hive OS, so there really shouldn't be a massive restriction there. Another way around that is if you have mining edition GPUs like the older P106, P104, etc., then you can scale up with those past that like 12 to 14 card limit. That said, you're starting to get into maintenance issues there. It's a bit more of a headache trying to keep uptime with all that hardware attached to just one host device. It's pretty challenging. So great question. Really great question. Guys, the Fear and Greed Index tells us a little bit of the story. That's not enough. We've got to know what the news is. And the very first bit of news right now, guys, Bitmain is bringing operations to North America. They've been rumored to do this for a while. They've been talking about it for years. It'd be great for them, right? Vertical integration. They manufacture the chips. They get to test them in their warehouse, even with China's like diehard rules. And then they get to have some of the cheapest power in the world stateside. Yeah, it's still happening. But it looks like it might not be happening in Washington, where it was rumored to be taking place before. And there may be more firmed up plans now. It turns out that it's going to be roughly over 50,000, about 56,000 rigs or 56,000 ASICs. And and Painkiller, he says, right, I forgot Hive OS didn't have a Windows OS. Actually, it did. It did for a time. There was the Windows Hive OS agent, which is crazy. It's a bit like the agent software that runs on top of Ubuntu that makes Hive OS, but it runs on top of Windows, so it ties into all of your mining software, stuff like Phoenix Miner, and before that, all of the mining software that you might want to use. It reports to that system agent that then reports to your dashboard. They had a version of that running on Windows for a time. They've retired it since then. But there was a version of Hive OS for Windows for a time. If you wanted to do test systems on Windows, but still have a bit of remote control, reboot your systems, whatever else, you could do that. Reflash the VBIOS on your cards, a few other things, at least from within the mining. That is, if the mining software could do a little bit of any amount of OC and UV operations, you could do that from within the Hive for Windows mining agent. Something else, guys. It's a bygone era. I don't think they're going to bring it back because Linux is just easier for them to work with. Gallo says, who hasn't smashed that like button? Sad kitty. Hey, that's a great question. Who hasn't smashed that like button? The like button is free. Besides, it likes you. Give a little smash. Let me jump out of the way here again and take a look at some of the highlights of this article. It's Bit5 and ISW Holdings, and they are apparently going to be doing hosting for Bitmain's equipment. And Anonymous says, smash that thumb. for Wooly Willy. Yeah, man, one of these days, with manufacturing being so cheap, we're going to have to get like crypto mining action figures or, crypto YouTuber action figures. It'll start with BitBoy, of course, right? And then it'll work its way down. And 5 years from now, they'll make a version of me. And at that point, I'll be like all gray in my beard. So it'll be perfect. It'll be awesome. So Bit5 and ISW Holdings, 56,000 units of these ASICs. And they're starting, or they say it'll be fully deployed by October 2022, but they're going to be up and running with about 20 megawatts of mining gear at the end of October of this year. All said, in about a year, they think they're going to 10x that operation to 200 megawatts. It's just huge. And I misspoke before. It's not in Texas, rather it's in Georgia. So over in ISW Holdings Pod City location in Georgia. The Golden Wolf says, LOL 3070. And MC Pogs come back as crypto coins. What? Barry Merritt says a former DC artist is doing a BitBoy comic. Well, that's exciting, man. A lot of former DC artists that got ripped off by the publisher, who I'm sure would be happy to do work for hire. I hope he's getting paid fairly. I hope he's able to, that whoever this artist is, guy or girl, that they're able to work their way into the value chain and earn some of the royalties for that NFT, which I'm sure it's going to be released as an NFT. But that's exciting. That's really exciting. All right, so scrolling down, they're talking about it, the initial investment being about $6 million and then spending about 10 times that in the course of a year. It's extremely aggressive, this rollout schedule, so I wish them luck. And apparently they just kind of recapped the fact that when stuff moved out of China, that many rigs were moved to Canada and Kazakhstan, and then obviously a lot moved to Texas because the power market is so competitive in Texas. And that's big news coming out of the ASIC mining arena. There's also some news about airdrops. If you're not familiar with DYDX Exchange, they did an airdrop that for individual users at one point, based on the value of the coin, was worth almost $100,000 per airdrop recipient. I mean, it takes the Uniswap airdrop and pretty much it's just jacks it up by a factor of a whole lot. It's like literally a 5x or a 10x over what that airdrop was. Yeah, no, literally more than a 10x, because I think the initial airdrop for Uniswap was something like $1,200, which was cool. Very, very cool. Don't get me wrong, but dang, $100,000 in an airdrop for users that were using their platform. So it came out retroactively, right? These folks they weren't expecting a thing, and out of nowhere comes almost $100,000 worth of value, creating a taxable event if they wanted to cash out, right? That's huge. This is life-altering money for some people. And certainly in the midst of a pandemic, a lot of families, if this just happened to hit their bank accounts, it would change the way that they live right now. Certainly for people who know what to do with cryptocurrencies and know what to do with decentralized exchanges like this, it's changed the game for them too, I'm sure, in terms of liquidity provision and trading and whatever else. It's been a really big, big thing. Barry Merritt says, DYDX sounds like a derivative. Well, that's the name of the exchange. They may offer derivatives there, but apparently... I don't know a whole lot about DYDX. Apparently, they are a layer 2 based exchange, but they're one of the first DEXs to launch or announce that it's going to launch on Starkware. And that's a pretty big deal, right? I'm definitely looking into layer 2s. I've mentioned for weeks now that I've been receiving my mining payouts on Polygon, which is pretty cool. It's pretty darn cool. And Barry's saying, it's calculus. There you go. I actually didn't take calculus, so there will be stuff like that to me is not immediately meaningful. And, there you go. I always said, calculus is never going to affect me in the real world. Womp, womp. Strike one, Seth. Got to learn calculus. But the point is that these second layer scaling solutions are going to be huge. In fact, I see a future in which we rarely interact with Ethereum's layer 1 when we're working with DeFi and NFTs. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to see that happening right now before Ethereum goes proof of stake. Kind of taking the wind out of Ethereum's sails in a way, moving to Ethereum 2.0 and full proof of stake. It kind of seems pointless if layer 2 solutions are already doing a better job, doesn't it? Anyway, Gallo also brings up a really strong point. Yesterday's ETH blocks were insane. And I think I had a screenshot somewhere. Somebody showed me an Ethereum block that I think paid out, the single block itself paid out something like 218 full ETH as the block reward. It was nuts. Everybody who's saying that Ethereum is deflationary right now, and look at how many we've burned, they're not paying attention to how big these blocks are and how much they're paying out. When you got a single block that's paying out over 200 Ethereum, that's huge. When you've got over 5 blocks successively that are paying out 200 Ethereum, you've got a problem. It's not just that like, it's this freak incident where front running and flash bots and whatever else have wrecked your system, wrecked your gas fee system. It's that it's endemic. It's that you actually can't get ahead because of how much you are required to burn. So you're minting just for the sake of then burning it. It's a convenient narrative, but then it also shows, like on paper, or on the blockchain, it shows this trail of dead bodies, right? This trail of miners and everybody else who's receiving these huge block rewards that are being mirrored by massive burns. It just looks wasteful and kind of silly. I don't even know whose narrative that serves anymore, but there you go. Great call out there. So jumping out of the way here, pretty darn cool that they're showing that. They talk about in this article also that DYDX was one of the first decentralized exchanges to announce that it would launch on Starkware, but there are other exchanges and other projects that are supporting Polygon. They do mention that first. And I wanted to bring that up in just a minute as we talk about some of the layer 2s. So apparently layer 2s are actually processing more transactions than Bitcoin right now. Ethereum layer 2 is processing more transactions than Bitcoin right now. And some would say this is actually an argument for Bitcoin, that what Bitcoin is doing is that it's scaling up so that the dollar value, right, the TVL per transaction is higher. So don't get it confused, right? Sometimes we think of it in terms of the network usage equaling the value of that network. Well, what if there's a value associated with each transaction and each usage of the network that also has its own factor, right? That we factor that in as well, also has its own variable it's thrown into that equation. Well, if Bitcoin has higher volume or higher value per transaction, how does that play out in this equation? Like having total transactions going higher is not always a better thing. It really does depend on the intent of that network. And I think that Bitcoin, nobody can argue that Bitcoin is going to run NFTs or that it's going to become the cornerstone of DeFi in the future. That just doesn't make sense. But it is going to be a store of value. And as a store of value, you do have to factor in that last variable of the total value per transaction. And when you use that metric, I don't think anyone is beating Bitcoin yet. I could be wrong. Let me know if you have a really good data source for that. I don't at the moment. This is really me just throwing out a hot take at the moment. But I do suspect that Bitcoin is transacting higher value per transaction, even though there's higher transactional throughput on these networks with Ethereum, the layer 2s. But with the gas cost of $40 plus, which we'll check in just a minute here, it just doesn't make sense to even stay on layer 1 for Ethereum. So they show that Starkware processed around, for the period that they measured that day, it had over 143,000 transactions. Arbitrum had over 56,000 transactions for that day. Optimistic Ethereum had 28,000 transactions for the day. And then Van Ness, the person who actually listed the post here, Evan Van Ness, mentioned, my impression given the low amount locked is that Lightning has very little traction, but I'm happy if someone shows me data to the contrary. And I'm just going to go back to what I said before. It could be that it's really more microtransactions that are taking place on Ethereum than on Bitcoin's layer 2 of choice, right? Lightning network. But again, it kind of begs the question, how valuable is that really? I mean, it's probably pretty valuable when you look at markets like El Salvador, provided they can stay decentralized and they don't have all of their Lightning nodes completely controlled and tracked by their federal government and turning it into an oppressive type of situation versus something that's a little more liberating and a little more empowering, right? So it could become more valuable, but the question is, more valuable to whom? Possibly more valuable to the government and would-be controllers and maybe even tyrants, right? Maybe it goes to that point. So not sure. And we got some new commenters in the comment section. We got Prudis FLC says, best channel. Thank you so much. Appreciate you saying that. And Gordon saying, yo, what's up? Guess what day it is? Yeah, I know what day it is. You know what day it is? It's hump day. Yeah. Hump day on Mind Your Biz. And so, we've got, there we go. 45% of all addresses across all our transactions for the day on Polygon. However, that same day that was measured, every single transaction, $1.45. That is every single transaction for that day. 45% of all the addresses, $1.45 in fees. It just doesn't compare, guys. These layer 2s don't compare at all. Not one bit. So, I wanted to bring that up as well. Multi-chain overview. I really like this. This is on Nansen.ai. I'm not paying for the membership right now, so you see 7-day trial nagging right there. But this is a pretty amazing infographic showing right now the Ethereum versus Polygon networks. They've also got Ethereum versus Binance Smart Chain, which for me, it's not quite the same comparison. Yes, there's a bridge, and yes, it's a parallel chain. It's not technically a layer 2 per se. It is kind of more of just a scaling solution, which means that it's a parallel chain that helps. Now, Matic or Polygon is designed to strictly serve the Ethereum ecosystem. It's really not here to be compared to BSC. It's really not here to be compared to Solana. It's really not intended to take any kind of smart contracts or tokens or anything else away from Ethereum other than to help alleviate congestion. That's about it. So Polygon is a bit different. So, let me jump out of the way here. But, right here we got the ETH versus Polygon. Show that breakdown. And you can see this is a stacked bar chart where those aren't the Ethereum transactions behind the Polygon transactions. Those are the Ethereum transactions directly compared to the Polygon transactions. There's literally 400% more on Polygon than on Ethereum. And that ratio has been consistent. You see that over the last several months, consistently higher, with a ratio of anywhere from 3 to 4 to 5 times as much transactional throughput on Polygon versus Ethereum. You've heard me talking about it for a while. Now, it could be that some of this is higher frequency stuff, the higher frequency transactions that are directly related to complex smart contracts such as flash loans, whatever else. But these could also just be your typical run-of-the-mill transactions, just remittances from one person to another, or payments just from one person to another, from one entity to another. We don't know for sure. We don't have all that broken down for us here in this view, but it is obvious that just based on the transactional volume, all the TXIDs in the aggregate, that there's a lot more going on Polygon than there is on Ethereum. Significantly more. And as the price shot up, well, it was only about 1-to-1 almost for a little time as the price shot up, and as the gas fee shot up with them, everybody started to look for alternative ways to decrease those gas fees. Well, Matic showed up and kind of presented itself as a really good option. Gas paid on Ethereum versus Polygon. Now, what this is, there you go, in USD, is just not even close. You got millions of dollars in USD on ETH compared to hundreds on Matic. Not breaking even $3,000 at its peak there, not breaking $10,000 at its peak there. At a certain point, yes, rising up to the 5 figures, but not breaking out of 6 figures. Now, fast forward to today. We are seeing significant increase in the transactional volume on Matic. So some of those fees have gone up by a significant amount. The 6th apparently went all the way up over 6 figures, but this is the first in history, all-time high in terms of total fees paid in daily gas on Polygon. So when we look at scaling solutions, and you see that there are people saying, okay, well, check it out. Starkware processed 143,000 transactions on that day. Cool story, bro. The entire time that you were measuring that, Polygon was doing millions. millions of transactions versus 6 figures worth of transactions, barely scraping the 6-figure mark in transactions on networks like Starkware, or on solutions rather, genuine second layer scaling solutions like Starkware. So while second layer looks really good, and I'm all about ZK rollups, I think that's going to be great. And especially if we can figure out some way to add redundancy to ZK rollups so that they have some of the strengths of optimistic rollups, I think that would be great. But in the meantime, this is here now. This works today. This has millions in transactions every day, day in, day out, zero downtime, zero leakage, zero problems, security staying rock solid. I haven't had a problem at all. I haven't seen a problem at all. Initially, I found that the bridging, it felt very painful, but guess what? If you move to optimistic rollups, you're looking at a week or two to get your bridging done anyway. And that is a native scaling solution for Ethereum. That's a native second layer solution. So yeah, having to wait a couple hours for my bridging, I'll take that. I'll take that over a couple of weeks. Just saying. Let's see. In the comment section, we got a few new ones. Barry says Monero was working on atomic swaps with Bitcoin on the mainnet. Yes. Hey, that's a great news item to bring up as well. As you guys know, I broke on this channel, very first YouTube channel, to break the white paper as it was submitted, I think almost real time. Not day zero, but first week. Very first channel here to break the news of their white paper that debuted atomic swaps, the white paper that was actually adopted, that put forth the technique that was actually adopted to roll out into mainnet for Bitcoin and Monero permissionless atomic swaps. It's huge. It's huge. This is so much bigger than most people realize. Yes, I've talked about Haven being a good option. We'll take a look at that later on in our portfolios, and Haven is amazing for what it does. What it doesn't do is permissionless atomic swaps to the biggest market cap UTXO cryptocurrency ever created. If it could, then we wouldn't have to worry about DEXs somewhere else. We wouldn't have to worry about counterparty liquidity somewhere else. We could literally, as easily as me handing you cash and you handing me something else, we can transact between Bitcoin and Monero right now. It's a great call out right there. Huge innovation. And that team has put in so much work. Those who actually put in the technical effort there. So pretty darn cool. Barry mentions that he's CPU mining XMR. That's a great choice, I think, personally. And let's see. Yep, a few other comments coming in. I apologize for not being able to catch up to them just yet. But Painkiller says, what blockchain is that new Dan Harmon Crapopolis on? I think the first NFT was released yesterday, I think. Yeah, so many NFTs coming out, so much going on in that space as well. But guys, let's move on with this news. Speaking of NFTs and celebrities, here's Steve Harvey. Just changed his profile picture to a Solana monkey business NFT. Is this an absolute top signal? No, ironically, it's not. You'd think it would, like in any other circumstances, it would be, but it's not. Things are so crazy that even this is not a top signal. Like, buckle up, because this is actually not the top. That's crazy to me, but that's the side of the bull run that we're in. We still have further to go, I think, right? Like, don't quote me, but between you and me, we probably have further to go. So crazy that that's happening right now. Is he shilling? Is he involved in some kind of like NFT pumping in order to dump his NFTs or some other token participation that he's involved in on retail? Well, yes and no, right? The fact that he's a public persona means that there's always a bit of that risk, but he does have a very open and strategic alliance with FTX in the same way that Stephen Curry was brought on by FTX. These are popular figures, so they want spokespersons. They want evangelists who are really well known, and they're willing to pay them according to, you know, the history of how evangelists and brand advocates are paid, right? They always find top tier entertainment level celebrities, right? Globally recognized celebrities in order to represent large brands. This isn't new, right? We've seen this with sneaker deals. We've seen it with all kinds of insurance and car brands and lifestyle brands and whatever else for decades, for as long as most of us have been alive, right? We've seen some kind of an endorsement like that on TV. It's just that the medium has changed and the sponsors are changing too. So yeah, him changing his profile picture to a Solana monkey business NFT, that just tells me that this is an alignment, some kind of a strategic alignment with FTX. So there's an interest in having a Solana-oriented property displayed on their newest evangelist's Twitter profile. That's all it means to me. But yeah, it also kind of does mean that if he gets anything from Solana, he can dump on you. So be wary of anything that comes out of Steve Harvey's mouth now regarding cryptocurrency. If you wouldn't listen to him 3 years ago, don't listen to him now. That much is definitely true. So moving on from some of that news, guys, been trying to warn people in the community. I'm going to do this with as much love as I can and cover this quickly, unless I do a dedicated video later on, speaking just to the Chia folk. Because first off, I feel bad. I feel bad for people who are in a bad situation. And yet, I've done my best to, with a level head, I think, eyes wide open, I think, try to issue a warning about some of the dangers of not measuring your risk. Right? So like paying attention, like this could be risky. This could be very risky if you don't know what you're doing. Well, apparently at Tweaktown, Anthony Garrefa brought up an article or wrote an article called Chia Coin Price Crash Forces Miners to Sell SSDs and Hard Drives at a Loss. Oof. He said the price of Chia Coin has pushed Chia crypto miners to offload their hardware, with bundles of SSDs and hard drives hitting the market at a loss, unlike GPU miners that could have purchased graphics cards last year and sold them at a profit this year. We talked pretty openly about this. If you check any of the comment threads as well, I actively tried to dissuade people who were, in that price sensitive category, not people who have like indiscriminate amounts of money that they can throw at this and afford to fail. But people who were saying like, I'm kind of like price sensitive. I might only have so much to be able to spend on something, and I want to mine somehow in some way. And in many of those conversations in the comments section, as well as live streaming, talked about how, GPU mining has secondary markets, and GPU mining is also inherently useful. Rather, the GPU hardware profile, it's inherently useful. If you have a workstation, if you do video editing, if you do graphics, if you do scientific computing of any type where you need GPU acceleration, GPUs are inherently useful. There's not really a good use for extra hard drive space for the at-home user other than maybe storing more files or storing files uncompressed. Gallo brings up a really great point in the comment section. Also says, who the F buys used hard drives? No one. That's the answer. Bottom line, used hard drives are one of the worst IT purchases you can make. One of the worst. I buy them with servers because they come for free with the price of a server, right? But it's sort of generally understood any one of these hard drive, like these enterprise hard drives that comes with a server, could crap out at any time. That's just a known risk. And that's why they're priced to sell. That's why they've always been available at fire sale pricing. So yeah, that's a very, very different value proposition there. I'm not going to take one of those and throw it into my workstation or put it, maybe a Raspberry Pi system I would to run a full node. But even that, that's because I don't care about it, right? I'm not going to go putting my family photo albums or like all my backups onto a used hard drive. Never in a million years. They just don't make them like they used to. And even when they made them back then, we all remember them. They've never made them like they used to with hard drives. They've never been that great. Not since high capacity kind of rolled out. And by high capacity, I mean more than 10 gigs capacity. You guys know what I'm talking about. Way back, like from SCSI forward, right? When you could just easily plug them into parallel ATA, everything went to poop. So yeah, I don't get it there. Anonymous Miner says, I'll buy them for cents on the gigabytes of storage. Hey, I agree with you. If I were to make a RAID, right? Like a RAID 5 or better with one of these systems, a RAID 6, I'd want that extra redundancy. Sure, I don't see why not. You could make that work, maybe. But yeah, very few people buy used hard drives. Just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. So this guy, Anthony, kind of mentioned it. Same story. People who showed up in the comments saying, hey, should I do this? And I'm price sensitive. I said, yeah, maybe look at GPUs instead. And then broke down the price for them. Hey, I've got this much. I could buy this many hard drives. And I would say, for that price right now, current pricing sounds like you could get a couple 3070s, or you could get a 3090 if you have that much, or you could, depending on the price, you could get 5 3090s. And if you really needed to turn them around and sell them, even if you didn't make a profit, you'd only lose so much of your margin there. And based on the current profitability of GPU mining, you should be able to make up the difference during the rest of this bull run. It's probably going to stay in a good position until Bitcoin does whatever it's going to do at the end of this run, double blow off top, or, magnificent blow off top at the end. Give us sort of like flashbacks of 2017, maybe not quite as spectacular. But the point is, as we near that point, ETH mining is probably going to stay profitable. Ethereum 2.0, probably not going to launch before then. So for as long as it's profitable, you're probably going to make up the difference. So it's very vindicating indeed to see somebody else talk about this and publish it. But it just shows the price plummet right there. We'll take a look at it on our chart as well. And then, says, the Chia Coin Facebook group noticed a huge uptick in Chia miners selling their old mining abused SSDs and hard drives. Now, I wouldn't be so worried about hard drives personally, but SSDs definitely I'd be concerned about, and I've made videos to that effect, right? Talking about how we may well be seeing landfills with these little green Chia tags on the Sabrent NVMe drives that were made just to sell to Chia miners. Kind of messed up. They're definitely going to have overstock of that model this year, even after Chia stops being profitable. How pathetic is that? You're going to be able to, I guess on the one hand, it's going to be cool that hopefully we can pick up extra cheap, extra durable NVMe drives from Sabrent, but we're going to have to put up with that awful green, Chia sticker on it after we buy it for our regular workstations, right? Like, that's kind of sad. So I feel bad for Sabrent, I guess. I don't feel bad for consumers. We're going to get pretty cool, robust. If it actually delivers, we're going to get pretty cool, robust, high write capability NVMe drives cheap. If Sabrent actually delivers on that in 2 and 4 terabyte denominations, that's cool. That's really cool. But in the meantime, these folks are selling NVMEs and SSDs used for plotting. Ugh, gross. That's disgusting. Yet no way. There's no write life left on these hard drives, obviously, and anybody who knows what they were used for is just going to say no. They're just going to pass. So kind of sad, but at the same time, I think I did my part, guys. You let me know in the comments section. Give me a big thumbs up if I did my part. Did I try to warn people that this was a very likely outcome because of network growth to begin with, and that it was not going to tolerate a taper tantrum or a massive downward price movement very well? Did I do my part? Did I try? Because I feel like I gave it the old college try, guys. I did what I could, and I tried to do it with love. I really did. So if you're in the audience also and you're like, hey, you didn't do your job, or whatever, you were mean and you said I was dumb or whatever, you made me feel bad, fine, give me the other one, give me a thumbs down. But I really did try to reach out to as many people as I could, so I feel pretty good about that, my effort anyway. But that's the news there, guys. Take a look at our gas fees right now. TX Street shows us, and I kind of feel like I feel like I'm shouting. Am I shouting? I'm getting kind of fiery here. Like a preaching little Chia sermon. Right. So back over on TX Street, we got the median ETH transfer fee at $9.64. That's pretty high. Not the highest we've seen it in weeks past, but yeah, it is. It's pretty high. Whoa, guys, we got a massive influx of comments coming in. Let's take a look at TX Street right there. We'll kind of let that run. Current median gas price is 130 gwei. Let me jump on some of these, catch up on some of these comments as we take a look at TX Street, though. John Germain says, I had a file server with 80 terabytes of enterprise SAS storage I purchased back in the burst days. I bought those drives new. All right, cool. Yeah, if you already had those lying around, what the heck? Why not, right? And 80 terabytes, that's a pretty decent plotting machine, right? If you already had that and you just switched it over and you did a slow burn for your plotting, then you were already ahead of the game, right? You didn't have to buy SSDs or NVMEs to go trash. Nick C says, warned people about HNT too. Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Now you got all these new HNT mining licensees, right, that have bought the rights to create the HNT miners. They've got warehouses full of inventory that they're trying to send out to people, but Yeah, it's bad news. It really is. Cryptid Youth says he really just wants all the Chia space for himself. It's true. Confirmed. It's not really me, it's my Illuminati handlers, but I mean, fine. You can boil it down to me, Cryptid Youth. Blame me, but do so by hitting this button. All right, and John says, I built an additional VDev with used hard drives bought from tech shops at a low price. That's the way to do it, man. Yeah, you can go to all kinds of different places to get used IT, and that's fine. That's totally fine for that sort of thing. Barry says, I could drop that in a Synology NAS. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, right. You could absolutely, right? And you got some of that redundancy there. You're going to have like all of the best possible file format systems for a network attached storage. So totally. If you want to get used like spinning platters, for sure, throw them into that. Used SSDs though? Nah, man, you're going to be swapping them. You know you're going to be hot swapping those before long. Like, why would you do that to yourself? Think of your future self and just like spare yourself the headache. Get yourself, at least if you're going to get them used, spinning platters. And John Ross says, Chia's been good to me. I'm up $10 plus on my $0 investment. That, sir, I think is the best possible quote for Chia mining right now. That's pretty good. Gordon Murray says, proof of pyramid scheme, LOL. And Bitcoin Jake asks, HNT, what about it? I have a Bobcat miner. Oh, just saying that I think that the fundamental premise is, in my opinion, I think it is dangerous. I think it's flawed to try to urge people to use Internet of Things, Internet connected stuff. MC also says Helium doesn't support homemade HNT miners anymore. Yeah, it's kind of sad, right? They had the open source program for a time and then they shut it down. Like, why would they do that? Is it a money grab? I don't know. Maybe a little bit for the licensees, the companies that have been able to make them profitably. And in the meantime, it doesn't seem to have affected the supply chain of Raspberry Pi modules, right? The single board computer. So at least we got that going for us, right? If it did, I'd be screaming bloody murder. Really, if they started to affect like our supply of Raspberry Pi single board computers. Ooh, no. Bitcoin Jack says, I do agree they should have open source. Yeah, they need to keep that program open. They had it open for a time where they would give you the basically a full system image, give you a parts list, let you build it, and then let you register it on their network. Not anymore. I mean, come on, man. Under the hood, they're all just a very specific type of radio module, a little special radio module hat that goes on top of the Raspberry Pi into all of the GPIO pins. You literally plug it in. You don't even have to be technical. You plug it into the GPIO pins, and then you've got a little coax like nipple there that you can then plug an antenna onto. Like you screw an antenna onto the end of it, and then bada boom, one SD card later, right? And 15 minutes maybe of reflashing an SD card, and you've got a functioning system. What's so hard about that? What's the threat? Why not just let people build them themselves? Barry says actually all Raspberry Pi 4 compute modules are back ordered till December. Compute modules, I do get that because they're so incredibly useful. I'm talking about the consumer oriented Raspberry Pi 4. I didn't realize that about the compute modules, but that does make sense. And John says it's an RP SMA connector, reverse threads. Hey, thank you. I didn't actually know which connector it used specifically, and I know I missed it on the specific radio module that it uses. But the point is that it's still just a GPIO pin hat that you plug in. It's just a little ZIF hat that you just boop, done, and then you plug in an SD card with their software, and you're done after you register. Like it's. I know I'm making it sound a little bit simpler than it is, but it's not rocket science, guys. That's all I'm saying. It's not rocket science. If people can set up a Raspberry Pi for any other purpose, they can set up a Raspberry Pi for this purpose. I think we can agree on that. And if you can put it into a case, like a rugged case or a weatherized case, you can put it in a weatherized case for this. Or you just grab like a Pelican case and just mount it inside of a Pelican case loosely and make sure that it's got impact resistance if it falls off of wherever you mount it. It's kind of crazy. Barry's saying I have a Bobcat that use their own single board computer. I wonder about that. You're sure they're not using a ROC 64? You're sure they're not using anything sourced from any other like small SBC manufacturer. I'd be shocked if they weren't. I'll just put it that way. I imagine. Yep, there you go. Barry says other AT&T hotspots use RockPi. Yeah, see, I wouldn't be shocked to find that most of them use others. MC says Pelican case and fans. LOL. Yeah, I'm just kind of like, I'm blown away by the whole thing, right? Like every other mining system, you can build your own rigs. You can contribute in your own way with hardware. I don't know why helium makes it so difficult. And further, I think it's fundamentally flawed. I think it's fundamentally flawed and fundamentally net negative for the world to encourage people to connect a bunch of internet devices in their homes and then to allow their signals to be propagated through your little device. Like that could come with liability in the future, a bit like hosting IPFS nodes in a way, right? Like there's some dangers here, but it's more to the point. IoT is not just dangerous because of content that people have on their systems. It's dangerous because you're getting people to do things that decrease their OPSEC and make themselves less secure. So, all right, they're on TX Street. Wow, we saw the median ETH transfer almost double right in front of our eyes. Median gas price almost double as well, up to 250 GWE and almost $20 to transfer Ethereum right now. Let's take a look really briefly on ethereumprice.org gas. Looks like we've had a few spikes in the last several days, but especially we had a massive spike on yesterday. Jeez, 3,000 GWE. And then on gasnow.org, looks like at this exact moment, a fast transfer of Ethereum, almost $50. Tether, USDC, DAI, all almost $100 to transfer right now. Executing a smart contract to swap on Uniswap version 3, $300 plus. And then Uniswap 2, $250. 1 inch, about the same as Uniswap 2. Same with SushiSwap and 0x. These are incredible fees. This is probably helpful for us as GPU miners, but man, if there was ever a time for layer 2 or sidechain solutions, it is this. It is this time right now when gas fees are that high. But this is bullish for us as miners, right? Definitely bullish. Take a look at fiatleak.com. Check to see where in the world all the coins are being bought. First off, right now on the charts, looks like on exchange, Cardano is being sold and bought more quickly than Bitcoin. Algorand and Solana, Polygon, Cosmos, Dogecoin, Litecoin, Ethereum Classic, Binance Coin are all being bought and sold faster than Ethereum. If this is, in stacked order, if it's stacked ranking. And it looks like it is. But when even Ethereum Classic is selling faster than Ethereum, then sentiment for Ethereum is pretty low. Maybe an all-time low for this run. Cardano, obviously people are excited about that. I didn't bring it up because it's kind of more a PR fluff piece, in my opinion, than actual news, but apparently there's confirmation that September 12th is the definitive day that smart contracts go live on mainnet for Cardano. I think if the previous test is any indication, it's not very much that we're looking forward to seeing. Hopefully it doesn't completely fizzle or, worse, blow up in the faces of Charles Hoskinson and the rest of the Cardano development team. Really, thoughts and prayers for them, because this could end very, very badly at the end of this week. Possibly. We'll see. Yeah, smart contracts are supposed to be coming, but they've been coming for 6 years. So, and the most recent test showed, 1 transaction per block, which was not promising. It was really not promising. Yeah. And John Germain says, Cardano, listen to Chico Crypto. Hey, first off, Tyler at Chico Crypto is, he definitely lays it down, and his research team is second to none. So the Chico Crypto research team, shout out. You guys do awesome work. But that's not a bad resource there. And yeah, hey, I didn't actually see what he said about it, but apparently John is saying that's what Chico said as well. Yeah, I'm worried about it. Wow, as if by magic, Cardano, all those orders have gone through, but right underneath it is Polygon, so it's doing quite well. We'll take a look. Cryptid Youth says it's FUD. Nah, man. You know, in this channel, we try to punch FUD in the face with facts. How you like that? Them apples. How you like that alliteration? Yeah. So you guys go ahead. I'll lend you a pair of gloves. You can go punch FUD in the face with facts too. But yeah. John says, team. Darn, I thought Tyler was a soul genius. He's a smart guy. Tyler's a smart guy. The smartest guys in the world surround themselves with even smarter guys. So he's a really smart guy. Put it that way. But yeah, Bitcoin, let's take a look to see where in the world Bitcoin is being bought. 46.3 is the current price. Whew. Feels good. Feels good to scoop that up. You guys asked me the other day, you're going to buy $30 worth of Bitcoin? And I kind of demurred, didn't I? I didn't want to get scalped. I didn't want to lose what little hair I have left. Right? Because if it went any lower, it wouldn't have been my scalp, right? It would have been my beard. So I'm glad I dodged that one. USD is where the majority of orders are coming in. Let's get those trades showing off to that left side column. USD is where we got our highest orders coming in. Euro is also active right now, but it's also a time of day thing. A lot of our friends in Western Europe right now are kind of, preparing their nighttime activities, right? They're out at the pub with friends and such, may not be actively trading. However, it's not stopping anyone in Japan. Same with Brazilian real, plenty of people trading there, or some trades coming through. Turkish lira, yeah, the usual suspects here, guys. We're seeing plenty of currency drop in. Korean won, obviously, because I didn't mention them. This is also a mainstay for the show. And then as soon as I start talking about them, they stop. But Korean won is active as well in those markets. Bitcoin is going strong. Let's check to see what's going on with ETH. ETH, you okay? Let's look for signs of life. Currently trading at 3510 or 3,510. USD pouring in, Euro also coming in, but kind of a trickle, guys. I'm not really seeing a whole lot of exchange activity there. I think, really? We got to do it. Will it show me at Solana? Nope, might have to just search for soul. Show me your soul. What? Oh my gosh. God. Just don't basically, this is going to turn into the Solana show. I talked to somebody the other day that who admitted to me, they were like, oh yeah, so I wanted to get some Solana for development purposes back, some months ago. It seemed like a good idea. I'm going to use their tech for something. And they bought some Solana. They had to get just, a little bit of Solana. So they picked it up at $2. $2 a coin for Solana. And I talked to them and they were like, yeah, I feel kind of dumb that I didn't pick up more because I only grabbed just barely as much as I needed, for geeky like development purposes, for testing purposes. I didn't want to use testnet coins. I wanted to deploy something on mainnet. So I bought I bought Solana. Oof. There it is. Man, even the chart looks cooler on Solana. This is not fair. Doesn't that look cooler than the other ones? Got that green glowy and logo looks cool floating into the, man, killing me right now. Solana, it was 170 yesterday, did not give two F's about the dip on Bitcoin, just kept on charging upward. So from 170 to this overnight, 212. USD is pouring in on exchange, Euro and Turkish lira. Basically everybody's kind of everybody got the memo, except for the Russians. They're not really spending a lot of rubles on this Solana thing. Maybe they've got more zombie botnets that are mining Ethereum and Monero for them than we know. Let's move from that over to Matic. I'm just curious because I saw a lot of orders coming in on Matic. Currently down, actually, yeah, down a bit. So $1.34 for Matic right now, and it is not moving the same way that Solana is, not at all. Kyle's throwing out an audible for Algo. We should take a look at that as well. It was very high in the charts before. Looks like on exchange, we're only seeing chart data, or only seeing sales data for US dollar and British pound really here. Euro, looks like it's not very popular with Matic right now. It's interesting. Dean asks a question that I am not going to comment. I apologize, Dean. We don't do that here. Let's take a look at Algo. So Matic not moving quite as much. Beto also asking about QNT. Sounds like they're working on some ambitious stuff. Hey, here's the thing, man. ICP was working on ambitious stuff too, but it was just a roadmap. I'll take a look though later on when we get into our portfolios. So we'll see. I don't want to be too snarky here, but we'll see. Take a look. Algo also kind of mostly moving into the US dollars. It's not as exciting, guys. Solana is on fire. There's nothing moving like Solana right now. FTX is killing it. Their endorsements are on point. They've got some of the strongest celebrities in their respective fields here in the United States that have really good international appeal. And dang, just my word, they're killing it right now. Absolutely slaying. Let's jump into our mining profitability for GPUs, and we will take a look at our portfolios in just a minute here. But we can take a look at not at Algo. Let's see, at QNT. So Beto, I don't want you to think that I'm not going to pay attention to that. Like, we'll take a look when we're over at the charts over on CoinGecko. Okay, and start bottom of the line R9 380. You can't see it because I'm right behind it, but R9 380 cost 14 cents per kilowatt hour and averages for 7 days with trade volume of 1 BTC. Ethereum Classic tops the list, 44 cents. Ergo at 39. Vertcoin is now above Flux, but Flux is actually profitable on a Team Red card, an ancient one at that. R9 Fury, same parameters. Let's check profitability there. It's Ravencoin at 99 cents, and then Flux rather at 67 cents right behind it. Ethereum Classic at 70 cents. If you can improve your ETH hash numbers there, of course you're going to do even better. 4 gig Polaris card. Let's check this out. And Ravencoin is top of the list for the Polaris card too. 99 cents. Ethereum Classic, 99 cents. Ergo, 96 cents. However, we do have a little bit of a secret here, and that is that we can bring this up as an average at 30.5 mega hash on ETC. And looks like when we do that, we're at $1.11 on Ethereum Classic. Ergo is also there in the running, but Ethereum Classic does make the most sense. And if you are like Red Fox Miner, if you're like, wow. Oh my gosh. I drew blank, guys. Who is it that's doing? I'm drawing blank. Who's totally here? Anyway, you can solo mine on Ethereum Classic and you can totally dominate. They're going to give me grief on Discord. Be like, bro, you forgot who I was. Anyway, you know who it is. Got Ethereum Classic miners out there solo mining and doing great work. We can bring that ETH hash 4G number, that ETH hash number even higher on Polaris cards. But let's go with our 8. It's not Red Panda Miner, actually. It's not BBT either. Unless BBT has now moved to solo mining Ethereum Classic. But there are some other miners who are just solo mining Ethereum Classic, and they are killing it right now. Way better profitability than anything else. But on this 8 gig card, Ethereum is now at $2.04. Still profitable, highly profitable. Nope, it's not Son of a Tech either, guys. I forget who it was. I apologize. Brought it up the other day, and I've already forgotten. Ravencoin at 96 cents. Not bad, but Ethereum basically takes the day. Ethereum Classic also at $1.08. Ergo at $1.03. Just, in my opinion, not even worth considering anything else. Vega 56. It's not... It was Red Fox, wasn't it? Okay, I wanted to make sure it was Red Fox. I thought... No, it's Fox Protocol Mining. It's not Red Fox Mining. It's Fox Protocol Mining. And it's not Hashraptor, guys. I'm so sorry. There's so many of us, right? There's so many mining content creators. It is hard to hard to track all of them. Hard to track every last one. Let me just double check here though. So is it Fox Protocol Mining? Yes, it is Fox Protocol Mining. Woo, I was going crazy there. But yeah, apparently, yeah, 400% luck on the Ethereum Classic pools that he's doing. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. He's basically becoming an Ethereum Classic maximalist because of how well he's doing. So Vega 56, we're going to bring it down to Ethereum at 339, Ergo at 315. Let's see, Autolycos and 190 mega hash. Getting an audible about best figures from Donat. So let's go ahead and plug those in. that definitely would make it a lot more attractive on the Vega 56. But here's the thing. We can do the same for Ethash as well. We can also say, you know what? We're probably going to do 140 here, and we may be able to even just drop this to 45 and drop this down to 150. Now we can make these interesting. But we usually go with the averages that What to Mine shows us. With that in place, yeah, it's over $4 for Ergo, and it's under $4 for Ethereum. So, yeah, unless you can really optimize these cards, then yeah, the base number for Vega 56 is going to make Ethereum look like it's more profitable for now. That said, it's usually a safe bet to just stick with Ethereum, especially if you're taking Polygon-based payouts. You can bridge to Solana. My gosh. I've got to do some tutorials, guys. I feel like I'm totally mind blown the last couple of days because I spent a couple hours just reading a few, like, not white papers, but semi-technical breakdowns of how to bridge and how to use other platforms and stuff. It is a crazy time right now. If you're not spending a couple hours a week just reading new material, you're going to miss out. I will say that for sure. But all bridge, mention it right now. All bridge. Come here, all bridge. All bridge. Where are you? Allbridge.io. Let me jump out of the way here to show you. Here's allbridge.io. Ethereum, Polygon, Solana, BSC, Huobi Echo Chain. It will let you bridge seamlessly between all of them. What are we even doing? What are we even doing anymore? The moment that they add Ethereum Classic to that, like, geez, and others, right? Like, what pool, like, what other EVM compatible network would you need to see on a bridge like this to feel confident that you should just go for lowest fees and then transfer over to something else permissionlessly? It's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's kind of crazy for sure. Some Goblin Loser asking, hey, did we already see the amazing 0x Bitcoin chart? No, we didn't see the amazing 0x Bitcoin chart. We will go see it in its natural habitat in just a moment. But first off, we got allbridge.io. This is not an endorsement, guys, and I don't know them personally, and you got to do your due diligence. For all I know, they're far more centralized than they should be, and there could be some kind of a problem here down the line, so please approach with caution. But the fact that we have so many multi-chain bridges available now is bullish, in my opinion. But moving from there back over to What to Mine, our Vega 56 represented the bottom of the line for Vega. Let's go to the Radeon 7, which is top of the line for Vega, which is technically the Vega 20 core, right, instead of the Vega 10 core. But it is pretty dope. Ultra wide memory bus as well with HBM2 memory. Ethereum at $6.85 per day. Ergo at $4.94. Ethereum Classic also in the running at $3.93, but not nearly as attractive. Go to the 5600 XT and the 6800 XT, which is split between the two of them. 60% going to the 6000 series part for AMD. And Emmanuel says that we've got SHIB is up too. And Danon, I see you in the comments section, but I'll get back to that question in a minute. In the meantime, I'm gonna ask some other folks in the audience. Do you mind answering his question? Kudo Miner, how do you feel about it? He's running it on two systems. What's your feedback for him? Well, let him know. But on these two cards, we're seeing Ethereum at $7.58. And then Ravencoin in a distant second at $4.81. I don't think anything else even comes close. Yep, Ethereum Classic at $4.30. Beam at under $4. It's just Ethereum all day for those, for sure. Unless you have some better plan. Bottom of the line, or the value and efficiency cards for Team Green, 1060, 1660, 2060, and 3060 Ti. With about 50% of all the performance going to the RTX 3000 series. And our numbers are Ethereum at 939, Flux, baby, in second place at 817, and Firo in a distant third place at 662. Ravencoin behind it at under $6 per day. That's a very satisfying lineup. I think these two projects in particular have been denied a lot of love that they have merited for years now, through a lot of hard work, through a lot of development. They haven't taken any handouts. They haven't gotten anything handed, like they haven't gotten any freebies in this space. They've worked for every inch of ground that they've gotten. So really cool to see them coming up. Go to the top of the line from the 1060 all the way up to the 3090. 2080 Ti, 1660S, and now the 1080 Ti with about 50% going to the 3090. And Ethereum is at 1657. Flux and Firo are in the second and third places respectively, with Flux actually kind of making sense, Firo being a lot less. And then Ravencoin. Sheep55 says, yo, MYB. Yo, Sheep55. What'd it be? So that's our mining profitability. Let's take a look at cost to mine one full Bitcoin. Antminer S9. Looks like our break-even point is 15 cents. Ouch. Danger, Will Robinson. At the rate that we are mining elsewhere, we are barely mining one full Bitcoin for just under its current retail price. And as mentioned before, I suspect we could see a sawtooth pattern down, a bit of a descending triangle. If you zoom out, a bit of a descending triangle for Bitcoin. This is going to feel very uncomfortable if you're mining on residential power with an S9. Let's take a look at 8-cent power instead. If we go to 8-cent power and go ahead and recalculate, we're looking at $24,000. And this is kind of more in line with what I think makes sense. If Bitcoin does dip down to $20,000, at least hopefully it'll do so with a little bit of warning or tapering down towards that point. Or it'll kind of hit a deep valley as it sawtooths into a descending triangle. So acquiring your Bitcoin at that price, not the worst thing. So you need the cheapest possible power on that S9. Moving to the MicroBT WhatsMiner M20. Nope. The M20S. Let's go ahead and hit that. And we've got a break-even price of 26 cents per kilowatt hour. At 8-cent power, you're getting one full Bitcoin for just over $14,000. And at 14 cents per kilowatt hour, you're matching... Actually, a little bit, well, roughly matching what the S9 does at 8 cents per kilowatt hour. It just makes far more sense, far more sustainable. If you got your S9s, guys, this is, for me, I'm officially saying, like, yes, it shows you're going to break even lower. You might have lower cost per power. Personally, I'm admonishing you, maybe look for a way to rehome them or make them far more efficient. You got to figure it out. Whoa, what? Oh, guys, Pirate Tube drops $100 super chat and says Pirate Chain loves you. Guys, here's the thing. Z to Z. This is a Z to Z transaction. You to me, buddy. Z to Z. Love it. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Means a lot. So, yeah, right? You guys took me off guard, man. Jeez. If you want to know how to make me stop talking, there you go. Give me $100 super chat. That's cool. That's really cool. All right. And that is that's our cost to mine one full Bitcoin. Guys, let's take a look at our mining pools right now. Looks like the Bitcoin total global hash rate is on the rise. The network hash rate is up to 135 exahash. Same with Ethereum, up to 672 terahash. Things are actually moving up. That's pretty crazy. I did not expect to see our hash rates go up for all these different networks. And guys, if there's anybody watching who's not, I feel obligated to tell you now, anybody watching who's not familiar with Pirate Tube or Pirate Chain, we'll cover that over in our portfolios in just a minute. Same value proposition as Monero, being private by default. Same privacy technology as Zcash, which unfortunately on Zcash is not on by default. ZK snarks. Cryptographically, mathematically, very, very private. Uses advanced cryptography to make every transaction fully private. So pretty cool. All right. Moving from here into our portfolios, guys, let's start with our GPU mineable coins. Flux has just taken this portfolio by storm. Our 24-hour change, we're almost up by 1%. It's like GPUs didn't get the memo that Bitcoin kind of dipped. They don't care, right? GPUs and like miners, we are the new honey badger. We do not give an F. So Flux is at the top of that list. Ergo's right behind it, which is not a shock. It's been doing so well. Ravencoin in number 3. Pirate Tube says he sounds like a pirate to me. We'll just say that I know Crypto Rich is a huge fan, and I'm a huge fan of Crypto Rich. So by the law of transitive piracy, yes, I am pirate because I have transitive pirate properties. Yeah. Take that one, meme it, please. Want to see a meme, guys, soon. Let's see it on Twitter, Crypto Twitter. I'll actually be able to get tagged and see it if it goes that way. Ideally to some kind of like whatever really, really bad, like technotronic beat. I'm by the transitive property of piracy. I'm a crypto pirate. But real currency, whoa, it shot right up. I didn't see that coming at all, guys. I wasn't tracking real currency. I did not see it moving in that way, but it's done a massive reversal over the last 7 days. And it's climbed up. It's in a bit of it's actually in a downward channel right now, but real currency is doing great, doing better than Ethereum. I didn't see that coming at all. Ethereum dipped right alongside BTC. See right here now, all these little charts are going to look very, very similar. Of course, Ergo and Ravencoin also showed a similar curve, similar formation. From Ethereum downward, though, you can kind of see how strongly correlated all this is to Bitcoin, right? So anything that kind of dipped down below its high profit from before, I think had that problem of being overly correlated to Bitcoin. That movement right there. See, it's we don't have any Bart Simpsons right now. It's kind of sad, but we do have this very, very clear like crab sideways with Ethereum, where it was like, oh, we're getting really comfortable at almost $4,000. Oh no, we got too comfortable. And then same with Bitcoin, kind of pushing upwards into the $52,000 range with that news, right? And it was like, oh, are you going to buy $30? No, I'm not going to buy $30 with the Bitcoin, guys. I'm a little bit worried about this news possibly having unintended consequences. Yes, lo and behold, all the investors of the world were like, well, El Salvador is a captive audience, huh? Well, eat my shorts. Yeah, literally. They just absolutely shorted the crap out of Bitcoin, and here we are. And everything else kind of fell off a cliff, too. And Goblin Loser says, nice correction? Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, and in cryptocurrencies, we need volatility, so it's good to see a bloodletting every now and then, right? Like, we do need to see that. This is not a money market account, buddy. Like, and your dad's investments are gone. Like, if you are serious, you can't look at the investments that your dad or your grandpa made and take them seriously at all. You know that if you do what they did, you're going to get wrecked. So here, like, you got to be prepared for these like 20% drawdowns and such, and you need to play the game. Just like some Goblin Loser is saying, got to play the game. So yeah, big old dip there. Firo is correlated as well. Polygon correlated as well. Ethereum Classic. Beam really took a hit because it was in an upward channel as well, going into price discovery and then just like shot down. Conceal doing a really weird flip right there that almost looks like manipulation. Maybe. I know it's a bad word. Sorry, guys. I make people feel bad because I say stuff like that because that's what it looks like to me. So anyway. Skill Checkmate says, I got to give it to the Bears. This looks like a textbook dead cat bounce. Yeah. BitTube also kind of struggling there. Looks like there may be some manipulation going on as well to try to keep it relevant. They're still below the $2 million market cap mark. So yeah, they're pushing. They're pushing to maintain relevance there. Haven back down below the $6 mark. It took a hit along with everything else, but it was in kind of it was pushing upwards in a bit of price discovery right before that happened. See, it had a little micro Bart Simpson right there, as it was like, oh yes, we can do this with a little coin that could. We hired new developers. Haven 2.0. It's going to be a thing. And then Bitcoin dumped. Right? So, well, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. Ashanti is in the chat. Ashanti, how the heck are you? Ashanti? I'm glad you're here. So Swap is down there in last place. Kind of a sad thing. But let's move on from GPU mineable coins into hard drive mining coins. Yeah, boy! Storage, top of the list. 24-hour change, we're up 1%. Our total portfolio, P&L, we're down by almost 3%. Ashanti, thank you. And this is a 5555 from me to you. You guys like that? I'm basically just gonna like bounce back every community's like internal lingo back to them, but with love. So, yeah, hard drive, mineable coins. We got storage at the very top of the list. It's still in the profit, guys. It looks like there's now Sia coin that's dropped down into the red. just barely. We're just $1 underneath what we put into the portfolio on May 26th. Signum is still down. Chia, yeah, it just got ultra wrecked there, where it was like price discovery. Nope. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna lie down here. Don't bother. No, I'm just resting. I'm just gonna close my eyes. My eyes are tired. No, I'm not dying. My eyes are tired. Okay, you guys gonna go to the park? Maybe talk to some exchanges? Wait, I can go with you. I just need a rest. That is just resting here. Leave me alone. So yeah, Chia, good luck. You guys have heard me say it before. The developers aren't going anywhere. They've got $60 million worth of investor cash, US dollar cash. They're not going anywhere. They're going to keep on building. So there's hope for them. But that's on the development side. Price is suffering now. Hard drive mineable coins. And John says, but I'm still plotting. That's what I'm saying, man. So yeah, if your cost to acquire all your equipment, like if you kept your CapEx low on projects like that, you're going to be fine too. That's the other thing. They're going to keep building. Right, guys? That's, in my mind, that's the ray of hope with Chia. Yeah, price is kind of rough right now, but they're going to keep building. So I think you are going to see some of your hard work validated, but it is a mean game of efficiency, right? Like definitely sort of economies of scale, like John was talking about, getting IT at ultra low prices, like fire sale prices. You cannot pay retail to be involved with Chia at all. There's no way at all. With the prices being what they are right now, you can't do it. And if you can bear the costs to go through these lean times, yeah, you might win really big when Chia has something to announce properly. But they're trying to do smart contracts on top of UTXOs, a bit like Cardano as well. And I think we're going to see Cardano not pan out the way that the diehards think it will. So I suspect we're going to see a similar issue. With Chia. It's going to take them a while to admit to it, but they had to frame the whole development debate around the greenness of their mining first. That said, coin price will definitely, I think it will pump at some point in the future. So guys like John, I think they're going to win because they didn't go pay an arm and a leg for hard drives. All right, CPU mineable coins, Monero. Over $1,000, literally everything else. So Emmanuel asks, proof of storage. Yeah, that's basically what Chia is. They call it something else. They call it farming, whatever else. John says that's their official phrase is proof of time and space. Guys, Bram Cohen literally showed up in live comments a few months ago. If you were on that live stream, and he defended fiercely some of their choices. Really good luck to him. Bram is a brilliant mind. Like if he did nothing else for the world other than BitTorrent, then the world is better for that guy being in it. Straight up. If he never had another hit in his life, as far as tech startups go, his name will be in the history books of tech, right? Like he will be remembered among people who build tech. He's an absolute rock star. I don't think Chia is it though. That's just me. I don't think Chia is it. Because yeah, proof of time and space is really just proof of capacity, if we're being honest. Yeah, it's just proof of capacity. And when you mine to pools, you get rid of the time component because you can get payouts on a daily basis and you can totally migrate away. So it's just proof of space, which is just proof of storage. That's it. So anyway, sorry. Again, facts not FUD. Punch your FUD in the face with facts. Wow, Nero is below the $1,000 mark. Everything else is too. Varus coin is still down significantly. That's why our total P&L is down 8%, but our portfolio has gone up by 3% in the last 24 hours, going from CPU coins to ASIC coins. And here's where I think things will get interesting. Yeah, Anonymous Miner says, I really hope BitTorrent moons. I have so much BTT. Yeah, I don't have much hope for the token BTT, BitTorrent. I'm talking about the technology itself, BitTorrent, that created the modern peer-to-peer file sharing systems and various different rather distributed torrenting systems that we use for downloads, right? For flooding a download, flooding the bandwidth of a download client. That didn't exist before BitTorrent. The technology existed. Pretty darn cool. So kudos to Bram Cohen, who in my mind, he will always be a rock star to me for that. Bitcoin is still at the top of the list. Our 24-hour change, we're down about 0.35%. Total P&L since we started the portfolio on May 26th, down 11.47%. Ouch. That hurts. It does. It hurts. Decred is below the $1,000 mark. Everything else is in the red. Dash, Litecoin, Zcash. Doggo has something to say. I don't know what he's doing out there. Pirate Tube says, I grew up on torrents. Bro, you're making me feel old. Stop it. But Zcash is also a little bit higher. Horizon, Pirate Chain. There we go. Yeah, there we go. We see Pirate Chain up above these other two, and that's very gratifying to see. We got some fundamentals. In my opinion, this is a lot more close to the fundamentals for these projects. Dogecoin and Bitcoin, I really do believe they belong towards the bottom of this list. Almost every other project has some kind of fundamental benefit or merit to it. With Litecoin and Dash, arguably the biggest merit and the biggest fundamental benefit to being a part of these projects is that the community has fiercely supported them for years. They're not really good at privacy. They're not, like, even Dash, that supposedly was a privacy coin when it launched, they're not really good at privacy, right? They're not even mediocre at privacy. They basically don't have privacy at all. Even though they may have some mixers, they're not zero knowledge mixers, and they're not private by default. But they have low transaction fees. So, hey, Pirate Tube is excited about Pirate having their halving today. I had no idea. That's super cool. Very, very cool. So it's great to see that in the stacked ranking here, they are not in last place. You guys have heard me say it on other episodes. I don't believe that Pirate Chain belongs on the bottom of this list. It definitely belongs higher on this list. For sure. Yeah, absolutely. For sure belongs higher on that list. It's gratifying to see it come up. Last 24 hours, it's gone up significantly, very likely, like Pirate Tube is saying, because of that halving. So last 12 hours, or last 24 hours, moving up at, like 0.5% per hour. That's killer. But then kind of, retracing again. It's the only one on this chart here that does not seem correlated to Bitcoin. So that's super cool to see. Hopefully you guys have been able to lock in a new price floor here. I hope, and that you don't, you use that as support moving forward. If you do, you may be able to rise back up the ranks as you were before. So best of luck to Pirate Chain there. ASICs to FPGAs. Let's take a look. FPGAs, we got last 24-hour change, almost up 6%, but still total P&L down by 16%. Only one project in the black. That's Cadena. Handshake, that was in the black before, is now just below. 0x Bitcoin is down 62%, but it's still... Whoa, it lost its muchness. Oh no. I'm sorry. Some goblin loser, I don't know. I'm sorry. I report bad news to you from the 0x Bitcoin front. At a price of 38 cents, 0x Bitcoin is no longer a fun oscillating fool. Look at that. 38 cents. Oh, it's only flipping back and forth by less than a penny. Who can trade that with algorithms and bots? Nobody. Come on, man. Yeah, that's right. I talked to you like Joe Biden, and you deserve it, 0x Bitcoin. Give us something more. Be better. All right. Moving on to our other side of the portfolio. That's FPGAs. Proof of stake smart contracts. We got Solana. It's just sick. Every time we tune in, it's just sick. If you'd put $1,000 into Solana on May 26th, you'd have every time we tune in, it's like $1,000 more. Pretty much $1,000 more. How is that even possible? Right? How is it every time we tune into Solana? It's like, oh yeah, if you had put $1,000 into Solana on May 26th, you would have had $2,000. Oh, I meant $3,000. I'm sorry, I meant $6,000. Good Lord. If you had $1,000 into Solana when we made this portfolio, you'd have $6,000 right now. And you would have melted everybody else's faces off while Bitcoin was tanking. So you would have had bragging rights to make everybody else feel bad while Orange Coin go down. Pretty crazy. Phantom also doing really, really well. Also, it looks like it's really strongly correlated, maybe to Solana in some way, or just following a similar growth curve. And then, catching a little bit of a sniffle while Bitcoin like almost died. But yeah, $1,000 into Phantom, 4,500 now. Terra also not doing bad, but very highly correlated, strongly correlated to Bitcoin right there. Yeah, John Germain is talking about, yeah, retirement time for some of these mining profits out there. Guys, it's a crazy time. All around, it's a crazy time. Flipping profits from mining into some of these projects too, crazy time, right? Like we get collateral on the cheap. We're not even spending out of pocket for some of the coins that we have that we can then push into other projects that you see listed here. We're getting them subsidized because of our participation in mining. It almost seems like an unfair advantage to all these plebs that think they have to spend their own fiat to get in, right? Yeah, it does. It almost seems unfair, but it's not. It's available to them too. Jungle John says, hey dude, so yeah, El Salvador definitely shook stuff up. You think? Yeah, I'm saying it shook stuff up for sure. AVAX is still number 4 on this list as well, though that's where the fun in games kind of stops. It goes significantly lower after that point. So spoiled. It's significantly lower. You'd only be earning 70% gains in a couple of months if you had these other coins. If it's only 70% gains, why even do it? Bro, if you earn 70% on the profit of your home in as many months, you'd consider selling like a bunch of other people did in this real estate bull run too. Right? This real estate bubble that's been inflating way past its natural ability. Cardano, yeah, it's come up to 40% above the $1,000 we put in May. Ethereum is up 22%, Polkadot is up, Tron is up, Binance Coin is up, and then it all goes downhill. Chainlink is down by 16%. Neo is way down, which to me is not a shock. I don't understand the fundamentals of Neo or why it has any traction right now, or who cares? Same with Zilliqa, same with EOS, same with Internet Computer, but I am confused on Polygon. Guys, we looked at the charts together on Polygon. Do you really need to see them again? Because I'll show you again. We got like the ratio of transactions versus Ethereum on its best day over the last several months. It was doing more than 7.5 times the number of transactions than Ethereum was. And then in that same amount of time, even doing 7x, let's go back to that day, right? So June 15th. Can we find June 15th here? June 15th, the total amount of fees paid, the total US dollar equivalent of fees paid on Matic for that day was $42,000 versus Ethereum's $4.9 million. And you're going to do us like that? Come on, market. Come on, man. Next Era Gamer is in the chat, says, sup, cool kids. And then he also says, and you, Seth, how are you doing too? Come on, man. I got feelings. Good to see you, bro. Ashanti is here, says tied to BTC, I'm sure. Yeah, probably. That's definitely a case for Polygon right there. And yeah, it definitely, like a lot of these, you see that chart last 24 hours, see that dip and the curve down, sort of gently ramping down, like dropping in on a quarter pipe. It's like, wee, we're not totally dead yet. All right, yay. We can maybe come back out of this. It's almost like a giant drop in. It's like jump off a kicker. And then this chasm into the unknown. So we'll see what happens next couple of days, right? John Germain, yo, he just hit the nail on the head. He says, when a coin has more transactions per day than Visa, right? Right. Yeah. Next Era Gamer. He's like, yeah, everything's correlated to Bitcoin except that oddball hex. Makes a little like smiley emoji, smug face emoji. Yeah. Internet Computer. It's bringing up the bottom. I still don't understand why Polygon is there though, guys. OpenSea, biggest NFT platform in the world, uses Polygon. 20% of its transactional volume for NFTs, Polygon. So Polygon native NFTs that can be ported back over to Ethereum. You saw it before. 1inch Dex uses Polygon. Like you can trade on Polygon. We saw before. Allbridge let you bridge between Polygon and Solana directly if you really wanted to go that route. I'm kind of confused. Yeah, I'm kind of confused about that. Hey, Next Door Gamer asked about GMT. I did not get the GMT added to the chart, but let's do that live. Guys, I'm going to add GMT to, not to this chart. Let's go ahead and throw it back onto our ASIC mineable coins. Guys, with your permission, I did the review of Go Mining token, and Next Era Gamer asked me if I would add the GMT token to one of these portfolios. And I think it's only fair that we put it on the ASIC mining portfolio right next to Bitcoin, right? Because they're mining Bitcoin at their facility. So if it's not outperforming Bitcoin, then why would you get the GMT token versus just getting Bitcoin, right? Makes sense to me. Anyway, so let's add our coin, GMT, and Go Mining token. There it is. It's added. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? You know, I'm going to talk like a pirate the whole time. Thanks, Pirate Tube. Yar. Where she be? Oh my gosh. Ivan Baez. He drops the bombshell. Says Hex finally showing on the first page of CoinMarketCap as number 4. I feel like that's more a PR win for Richard Hart. For him maybe knowing how to submit the paperwork so that CoinMarketCap would list them correctly. I know that's a bold claim. Richard Hart is an excellent orator, and he's a master debater. We know this, right? As far as approaching a platform like CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, you have to apply. That is part of it. That's why if you search for certain tokens, including Hex, it doesn't even have a coin ranking in some cases. If you don't go through their application process, it used to be pay to play, right? CoinMarketCap and others where it's like, all right, they're sort of like, you know, behind the back, like, ooh, all right. I'm gonna slip you in our little like coin listing service over here. All you gotta do is give me like 3 BTC or whatever the price is at the time, right? So it used to be this fully pay to play system. No, I mean, with the token listings, ERC20 contracts are not that hard to add. Let's just be very, very real. The same is true with payment gateways too, depending on whether or not they support ERC20 tokens. You put in a smart contract address and all of the data is available on Infura or on like Etherscan or whatever, right? So not the most difficult thing in the world. But yeah, it's still kind of, you still have to go through whatever the process is. And if you don't do it, they're not just going to be like, oh, sweet, you never talk to us. You talk bad about us when you do talk about us on social media, and you think we owe you free press. And people used to pay us for the service too. Well, yeah, no, we're not doing any work for you. Nothing free. I'm not shocked, but the fact that they're on there now, cool. That's exciting. That's really exciting. So let's take a look. Join the market cap. No, I did it wrong. I'm glad I didn't have it on screen. Join the market cap. There it is. And go figure. It would be on a day when Cardano is still in third place. There you go. But yeah, guys, reports of Hex's death are greatly exaggerated. It's right there on CoinMarketCap. Yep, in number 4 spot. Hey, kudos. Damn. 44 cents. Oh, speaking of coins that would have turned $1,000 into $4,500 not that long ago, right? And May 26th would be the date that we did all of our portfolio. Now I'm just curious, guys, without shilling, we've held a lot of other coins to the objective standard of price. Do you want to see what Hex would have done? Do you want to see it? Out of morbid curiosity? Can I be accused? Will I be accused of shilling? Because now I'm just curious. It's right there on page 1, guys, of CoinMarketCap. Wouldn't be too weird, would it? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to, first off, I got to go back. I didn't even finish the first one that I was doing. Yeah, let me get there now. So ASIC mineable coins. I first had a request about GMT, and there it is at the bottom of the list. Let me go ahead and get this done, guys. One thing at a time. I'm letting my ADHD run away with my attention here, the limited amount I have. Let's go with GMT and get this added to the list so you can see exactly what the process is. For anybody who's not seen this before, we'll go to the date of our purchase, and we're going to add it as a purchase. And 27th. Yeah, Ian Spiker says, do it. Curiosity never hurt anything except that cat. You'll be fine, however. No. It's good. It's good. Sometimes, occasionally it's all right to get a little bit distracted. Okay, so what? Why is this time frame completely borked? Why would you do this? Man, I can't get enough granular data. Well, it looks like we didn't get too big a shift. We're just going to call it 14 cents. 14.0202. So, it's not bad. 14.0202. Pop open a calculator. Drop in $1,000. Divide it by our coin price, and then put in that number of coins. So we have a tidy $1,000 that we put into this portfolio, right? Math checks, right? So Beto is asking, what's the site you're tracking the portfolios with? This is CoinGecko.com, and this is the coin tracking. The coin tracking or the Oracle system that is used by the Bitcoin Core wallet and a lot of the other clones of the Bitcoin Core and Electrum wallets. So it's a pretty authoritative source for the most part. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. We'll just say it's not the worst. And going back to May 26th and 5:30 p.m. is when we created most of our other entries for this. So we're trying to keep it, guys, we're really trying to keep it apples to apples, because even hour to hour, as you know, from 1 hour to the next, there can be huge swings. And yay, vindication, guys. So here's the thing. I was accused of shilling because people were like, why would you represent a token like that is it's just dangerous and reckless? And, I wanted to hear the feedback, and I appreciate that. Everybody's got their take on it, and I want to create content that's valuable to you. And yet, here we are. I don't think those criticisms were particularly warranted. Go Mining Token, for what they do, for what they claim, for what they offer, I don't think they're the worst possible option. Now, how much liquidity do they actually have? Because market cap might help indicate that. I don't know. I don't actually know. Let's take a look to see what our volume is. There we go. So, yeah, trading volume. Let's see, any given point. Man, it dips really low on some days. On other days, tens of thousands. Yeah. And Next Era Gamer says, it was a dope video in my opinion. Hey, I appreciate you saying that, Next Era Gamer. Definitely appreciate that. Anonymous Miner says, forget the tokens. I need a hat. Need a hat like one of these? You can get them at miner.biz. You can actually pay for them in cryptocurrency. You can even pay for them in Monero and give me an address that you want to check so you don't dox yourself. But, that's just what crypto does. Lets you, gives you options. So that's interesting. Yeah, with the, maybe we jump to today instead of being so far in the past. I think the day that you could have picked that up, yeah, it would have been a little bit different. Now we've got a little more consistent daily volume. Ooh, wow, yeah. Yeah. I think now, hourly or like almost hourly, we've got a consistent $1 million going through. Now, what we could do also is I really like the Nomics. Really like the Nomics score for volume to see whether or not it's bogus, So let's check out GMT over there. Oh my gosh. Go Mining Token. First off, Go Mining Token is on Binance Smart Chain. It is not an ERC20 token. So it's on Binance Smart Chain. If you're not comfortable with that, then you're not going to be comfortable with this. And it looks like it looks like markets, we got literally just pancake swap, which should be 100% transparent as far as seeing where the volume comes from, or seeing that the volume exists, at least that it's not manufactured somewhere else. Yeah, they've got nothing to say about it. Nothing to say about it because it's all on pancake swap. So you've got, yeah, transparent volume, 100%. Transparency grade, A. So there you go, guys. Vindicated. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. I do. Emmanuel, how long does bread stay good at room temperature? It's a great question. It's a great question. And Jungle John is saying it's bizarre how closely these values track between currencies. I know, right? Strong correlation with a lot of them, but not always exactly the same. Go mining token is there though, guys. So pretty darn cool. Let's go ahead and let's add a new portfolio. And I am going to call this it's not an automated liquidity portfolio. Automated liquidity token. It's not quite right also. Guys, what the heck is the name for the category that we're going to put Hex into? Because it's not the only coin that does this. Ampleforth is supposed to be somewhat similar. And there are other coins that are meant to compete, I should say, with Hex. So to keep it a level playing field, I want to have a category for this. I'm just going to call it automated liquidity. Automated liquidity. Liquidity. Done. So we've got a new portfolio, automated liquidity. Come here, Hex. Yeah, still no score here on CoinGecko. But look at that upward channel. That is sick. Alrighty. 45 cents today. That's 45 cents with the Kool-Aid. I just started watching Everybody Hates Chris. Such a great show. That's 45 cents with the crypto. It doesn't hurt that I'm also like already a huge Terry Crews fan. Hey guys, we got so many good comments. I'm so proud of you. So many good comments in the comment section about it. It says, somebody said, white bread is so processed. That's why. And then depends on the humidity. Nice. So let's take a look here. Oof. Oh, guys, somebody in the audience is going to feel. I mean, I don't want to go from zero to full master debater here, but someone's going to feel ultra wrecked, to use that turn of phrase. Looks like it's 5 cents. Well, 5 cents and 5.457. So, 5.457. And let's get our calculator. $1,000 divided by 5.457. Easy peasy. Blood orange squeezy. Boop. Done. Jump back in time. May 26th. Oh, here we go. 5 p.m. is better. And we could also just make sure it's at the exact time that that had that price, but this is close enough, I think, for our purposes. And it looks like, oh my goobness. Oh my. Guys, if you put $1,000 into Hex on the same day that we made our portfolio, and I think I can, you've seen me do this with a bunch of other coins, yes? If it's just about putting in a certain amount of money and keeping it liquid, not staking or anything, $1,000 in Hex back on May 26th, and it would now be over $8,000. You could have taken profits right now, rather taken your initial investment back out and still have $7,200 in your main investment. And if you really felt like it, yeah, there you go. Next Era Gamer says, ETH is the only reason it hurts to buy Hex. Well, I got news for you. Take a quick look. I'm going to go to polygonscan.com. This is on the Matic network. Hex. What's this? 45 cents. Different token contract. Over 2,500 addresses. Same coin value. With the economics of Polygon today. So there's that. However, Next Era Gamer brings up the reality of Pulse Chain launching, and there's some incentives within that ecosystem for you to have not just Hex, but other ERC20 tokens as well for when Pulse Chain launches. The point is that if you were strictly after speculation, if you were strictly an aggressive trader and trying to get a really big bang for your buck, well, you could have stayed liquid with Hex and gone on another network. But wait, there's more. Let's go over to BSC Scan. And in BSC Scan, let's type in Hex. Oh, looks like there's not a wrapped representation of Hex on BSC, on Binance Smart Chain. Womp womp. That's just too bad. Let's go to Solana Explorer. So explorer.solana. There's also solscan.io. I think maybe we go with solscan.io. It's going to be the same makers. There we go. Going to be a little better. Emmanuel, thanks for checking in with us, buddy. Really appreciate you being here. Gosh darn it. You guys know better. Dark mode. We'll go blowing out the audience's eyeballs. What's this? That's right. It's Wormhole Hex. What is Wormhole, you may ask? Wormhole is it's a native ERC20 receiver function on Solana. So you can actually send your ERC20s directly to the Solana network. And then you can hold them there. Now, are there many holders? Clearly, there are all of 4 holders on Solana right now for Hex. My point is that they've proven the concept. It works. Like, it definitely works now. And oh my gosh. Yeah, there's $9,000 worth of Hex on Solana right now. So there's somebody there who's like, wow. Yes, some goblin loser says, my 27-year-old man eyes. My old man eyes. Thank you. Mind your biz. You're welcome. I mean, you know, I'm a man of the people. What can I say? So yeah, kind of an interesting thing. The point is you can prove the concept there. And on Polygon, you see there's over 4 million Hex on Polygon right now. Is that particularly impactful? No. I mean, it breaks down to a little, like just about $2 million roughly. Pledit says, check coin market cap. Hex is gone again. Wow. Really? That's funny. You know, things move fast in crypto. They move really, really fast. In the midst of one live stream, we've gone from that to this. But I mean, it wouldn't be crypto any other way, right? And we wouldn't have it any other way. Who knows why? Who knows the reason people do the things they do? If you guys can think of, for the audience, if you can think of some other, either like specific, like rebasing coins that are meant to be, that are meant to provide liquidity, that are meant to create an incentive there, that like such as Ampleforth or others, that are intended to be a highly speculative and highly volatile machine or mechanism, vehicle, if you will, for traders and investors that are meant to somewhat compete with Hex as far as it giving a lot of opportunity for building wealth. Let me know, right? I want this to be a category where we put other coins next to this. I don't shill, and I'm not comfortable creating a portfolio where it's like, it's only Bitcoin all the time. It's only Ethereum. Like, that kind of binary thinking was shattered. It was destroyed at the beginning of this bull run. I sincerely hope that this bull run has done it for you. I hope that looking at these portfolios is doing that right now, right? Like in the proof of stake smart contracts. Like, this is one of those situations in which it kind of makes sense, right? Like, it's like, oh yeah, cool. Like if you want a diverse portfolio, you can have a diverse portfolio here. Or if you want to try a completely different smart contract system, such as Solana, which we've discovered the fun way actually has some hex on it, right? The more you know. Yeah, it's there's just a lot of other options too. So I without making it seem like I'm just shilling, plus you can't mine it per se. Yeah, that said, you know what? Shout out to Brandon Coin. Let's bring up a crowd favorite. Brandon Coin has mentioned it. It's possible that this audience has not seen it because maybe you don't watch all of Brandon Coin's media, or maybe you just missed this video. But shout out to Brandon Coin. Unminable coins, or unminable.com. So unminable.com shows you a list of coins that you cannot mine with GPUs or with other mining rigs. And it functions as a bit of an exchange to let you mine to their pool and then receive other coins that you want. And Anonymous Miner's asking, you've probably covered it, but thoughts on Atom Cosmos? Mind you, Cosmos is pretty cool. And yeah, no, great point, man. It really should be here, shouldn't it? Did we have it here? No, we don't. Why don't we have it? Great point. Let's go ahead and add Cosmos right now. Oh man, excuse me. And Anonymous Miner shares with us, Misfit Mining has a bunch of videos on Mineable too, and I have a few videos on Mineable. That's awesome, man. Hey, I apologize. I heard about it from Brandon Coin's channel, but that's great. So guys, you heard it there. There's Anonymous Miner and Misfit Mining as well that has some videos here. I'm just going to mention it here in passing. Maybe we'll do another video about it another time, but right now I just want to bring it up. Since we're talking about all kinds of new and interesting things that feed into these portfolios, there may be some coins that you can't mine directly that you can be rewarded in by mining to these guys' pool. So you've got, see, they've got their own pool there for ETH hash, and you can receive Solana. Oh my gosh, that is dope. Can you imagine? Jeez Louise. That's a pretty big difference. That's a pretty big difference there. Receiving payouts in Solana natively, as opposed to receiving Ethereum at the profit margin of Ethereum mining. That's killer. That's absolutely, punch you in the face. Awesome. ETC hash. So for your 4 gig cards, Kapow for your 4 gig or maybe even less cards, and Random X. So different pools you can mine with these different hardware profiles and then receive other coins. But it looks like, there we go. See that? So I clicked on the coin, change coin, and I've got some other options. All kinds of coins I can receive. I wanted to receive Monero in exchange for my Ethereum mining power. I could. If I really wanted Ripple, I could get it. Or Verge. What is it? Limp Bizkit's calling. It wants its coin back. But there it is. You can have it for the price of your Ethereum mining hash rate. So it's there. Skycoin, which I'm surprised is still alive as well, but 0x and Zilliqa with projects that have slightly stronger fundamentals. Straight up Tether. You can peg directly if you really want to just tether. It's there. Ravencoin, but automatically exchanged for you at your profit margin of Ethereum mining. Gas for Neo. I don't know why you would want that. Ethereum for your Ethereum mining. There's a novel concept. EOS if you're into that. Basic attention token, which again, I don't totally get why you'd make that change. I think they just saved everybody, spared everybody the trouble of trying to find one of the best possible options, and they just pre-populated Solana, which is brilliant. So yeah, that's cool. However, gotta say, guys, all things considered, the fact that we added it to the portfolio, I'm surprised that we can't see Hex there. That might be something they would add. Not because it's a crowd favorite for everybody who mines, but because it's an option for something that performs well and amplifies your profit margin after doing your Ethereum mining. So there you go. Moneta Republic says, what are the fees for choosing a token? Sort of like Nice Hash like situation. Anonymous Miner brings up that it's a 1% pool fee. That's standard, guys. Yeah, standard 1% pool fee, and they're doing the exchange apparently at no additional cost. So this is, unless you have a discount code, then it's 0.75. Mineable can also be set up on Hive OS. Yeah, that's the thing, guys. Because I have those pools there, you can set up on Mineable on any mining OS and any mining software. So maybe we will do a tutorial on this soon. Because now I'm liking the idea of getting some Solana automatically in exchange for my mining. I'm really liking that idea a lot more than just getting straight Ethereum. Is that messed up? Am I a turncoat? Yes, very much so. A capitalist turncoat. I'm almost ready to do that. Here's one thing that has me concerned about Solana versus Ethereum versus even Binance Smart Chain. And that's that there's a total lack of zero knowledge mixers. Ethereum has something called Tornado Cash. Binance Smart Chain has something called Swirl Cash. They work the same. Swirl Cash is a fork of Tornado Cash. There's nothing quite like that for Polygon just yet, and that bothers me a lot because it's as simple as just forking Tornado Cash for Polygon. So, audience, if you know of something like that, please speak up now, because I think that's very an important part of any EVM ecosystem is having the ability to use ZK snarks in mixers. It takes all the strengths of Zcash and applies them to an EVM chain just like Ethereum, or like Ethereum Classic, or like Polygon, or like Binance Smart Chain, or in the future, Pulse Chain, when it eventually goes mainnet. Like, this is an essential piece of equipment. It'd be like launching a new currency and not creating cash. You know, you need to have at least a privacy mixer, even if you don't have full privacy. Next Era Gamer asks, what is a mixer? My gosh, guys, I apologize. I probably need to make some dedicated videos on these instead of just doing a live stream and trying to cram it all in. But it's a good question. Let me pull one up. This is tornado.cash. And best way to use this, guys, you have to be using a VPN. You can totally use this inside of Tor. I just put a link into the live comments right now. So there's no penalty for using Tor browser while you use this. Then you log in with MetaMask. You go, it goes to app.tornado.cash. And it allows you to deposit a certain amount of ETH or other stable coins, DAI, USDC, USDT, and even wrapped Bitcoin. Connect it to your wallet. You send a transaction. It locks it up into a smart contract and then gives you a special withdraw token. That smart contract uses ZK snarks to anonymize the payout from this lockup. You wait some time, because the last thing you want to do is take a specific amount of Ethereum or whatever the coin is, and then immediately grab it. And you want to immediately grab a coin that you've just mixed. But let me address something that just came up in the comments. There's a person who says that who's saying that that Hex is a scam and Richard Hart is a criminal. Sad to see you promoting such a scheme. Well, first off, I'm not going to mention your name because I don't know who you are, so I'm not going to give you any attention at all. But what I will say to that is that I just objectively put a coin into a portfolio, and if you can't handle an objective observation of information, then you need to learn how to be a more polite person in general. So, yeah, I just put some numbers into a spreadsheet. That's literally all I just did. If you are upset, you do your own research. Sounds like you made up your own mind, so you make the decision that's best for you. But guys, back to what we were talking about here with Tornado Cash. Yeah, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't have a Series 7. I don't have a Series 65. Right? Like, I don't have a Series 65 license. I don't pretend to. I'm not giving you financial advice. You didn't pay for financial advice. Like, that's not the nature of our relationship. And I've spent a lot of months not talking about that project. I'll put it that way. So there you go. Anyway, but here on Tornado Cash, guys, this a mixer would basically be like, traditionally a mixer takes coins from multiple people and then basically puts them into a pool and then pays them back out to the participants so that you can't tell which party contributed coins and where they go to. It was something that was designed to help Bitcoin sort of achieve fungibility again, because you would mix up the coins every now and then you couldn't tell where they were used for, what they were used for prior to that point. Now on Ethereum, this can be done, and it adds that layer of cryptographic security, very similar to what Pirate Chain uses, but not to the same level of privacy. You following so far? It's just this one-time event where you kind of jumble up the coins, and then using cryptographic security, ZK snarks, you make it impossible to trace where they came from before, and they're dropped into a wallet. This is actually important, right? Like, if I go to the corner, the corner grocery store, and I want to pick up like whatever, a can of Bang Energy, I can pay in cash, and you can't tell it was me. That's not weird, is it? It's definitely not criminal. I want to be able to use crypto that way too. So, the only way you can do that is when you have privacy built into the blockchain on some level and in some way. So mixers are actually very important, and privacy is extremely important. So yeah, Tornado Cash does that on Ethereum. Tornado Cash has also tried to add some other networks here, right? Binance Smart Chain, XDAI, Polygon. But with Polygon, hey, you know what? Did they get it? Holy crap, they did it. So on Polygon, it's only Matic. Guys, this is breaking. This was not actually functioning the other day when I took a look at it. This is great. So the fact this exists is huge. But you'll notice the number of tokens that it supports, it's just Matic. That's it. No wrapped Ethereum, no wrapped USDC or USDT or WBTC or anything. And then let's see on Binance Smart Chain here. What do they got? Yeah, I know. App Network doesn't so funny. App Network doesn't match, bro. I don't have MetaMask installed on this browser. Why would I do that to myself? It's just BNB here. Swirl Cash does the same thing. But here's the thing. Yeah, you see latest deposits. You can put in 1/10 of a BNB, 1 full BNB. It shows you how long ago it was that somebody did that. 10 full BNB or 100 BNB at a time. But here's the thing. It'll give you a little token, or it'll give you a little token that you would use to then pull that out. You can pull that out, of course, to a different wallet address. That's the whole point, to a fresh wallet address. But if you see exactly 100 BNB or exactly 100 ETH move from one wallet to another wallet, it can look suspect if it's like immediately afterwards. It's obvious that was a transfer. If it happens within one block time, then it's obvious that you transferred from here to there, or just 2 or 3 blocks. If you wait like 100 blocks and then you pull that back out, it's less obvious based on a timing attack, like an observable timing attack, to figure out who it was that did the mixing, if that makes sense. It's a pretty important thing. We've been talking about it. Privacy is pretty important, guys. Cash in this world is pretty important. Like, whatever. I pay my kids for their chores in cash. The U.S. government doesn't need to know that I give my kids an allowance or chore, or money for their chores or whatever. Like, that's not a taxable event, right? I don't want to give my kids a 1099 form and have them declare income, right? While they're underage. That's just dumb. Cash helps with that stuff. And Bitcoin isn't really good at it unless you keep them anonymous and you ensure that they never use it or like have to declare it for 40 years or whatever. Gordon, he says, but if you have a DeLorean, we can find out who did it. Yeah, but they don't have an 88 BNB option, Gordon. Now who's got a galaxy brain, bro? No, you're right though. Yeah. So at some point, the government will come up with some type of way to de-anonymize networks into the past, but using ZK snark technology, the cryptographic privacy, it's going to be a lot harder for them to be able to de-anonymize those networks. So when something is actually private, like a Z to Z transaction on Zcash, but more to the point, Pirate Chain, there are no third parties that can de-anonymize that. And same with these mixers here. The mixers of old were just a bunch of basically they were privately operated, a bunch of network participants saying like, hey, we're all going to put our Bitcoin into one pool, or our Litecoin or our Dash into one pool. or our Dogecoin. There were some that actually did Dogecoin for a time, and there may be more in the future. We'll see. But put all of our coins into one pool. We're gonna mix them all around, swirl them all around a few times, and with all the transaction fees of Bitcoin when they were really, really high, that got pricey. And you see what I'm saying? Like it's an expensive thing if your network fees are too expensive. Well, fast forward to today, this is the right way to do it, man. It just is. BSC mainnet doesn't look bad. Hey, testnet too. That's funny. Ethereum Gwirly. That's funny. Yeah, and then all these tokens on the testnet. It's funny it's not Ropsten or anything like more commonly used. But I think it's a good way for you to test your stuff. So Ethereum mainnet, though, even though the fees are really, really high, that's where you got a bunch of DAI tokens. Boop. $100 worth of DAI. 1,000. 100,000. Right there. Cool 100 G's. Throw them through here. Put them over into a wallet. And here's the part where I have to say that may or may not violate the travel rule if the other wallet is overseas. I think I'm probably legally obligated to say that if I'm being observed by my handlers right now. I don't know what the implications are of that. 10K, I think, is right at the travel rule guidelines right now. And then $1,000 worth of value. Like, come on, man. It's nobody's business. $1,000 is like, you're not even going to be asked at your bank what you're going to do with $1,000. So 10,000 you might, though, right? They'll be like, what are you going to use this $10,000 for? You look back and say, well, I don't know. My own purposes, because it's my money. Thanks for holding my money for me for a time. Can I go now? Privacy is important, guys. We're losing it fast. But yeah, seeing all these tokens available for this network is huge. Because the network fees are so low on Polygon or Binance Smart Chain, some people choose to, when they bridge their assets over to these networks, they simply swap for like Binance or for Matic token. And then they do whatever denomination they need to go through all of those coins. Nemesis is in the chat. You know what? When Nemesis shows up, you know what we do for Nemesis, our homie? We give him the air horns. Yeah, boy. Good to see you, man. We're talking about zero knowledge mixers and how CoinJoin is good. Tornado Cash is arguably, I'm sorry, not even just arguably, cryptographically, mathematically, provably better. I wish we had something like this on Bitcoin natively, but we don't. So when we're on the Ethereum mainnet, if you're willing to pay the fees, you can do this with wrapped Bitcoin. Only the denominations are kind of wonky, right? Like a tenth of a Bitcoin or one full Bitcoin or 10 Bitcoin, right? It's like, dang, who's rolling with 10 Bitcoins? Who's rolling with 10 Bitcoins wrapped on Ethereum that they just want to mix, right? Like, I don't know. But yeah, there it is. And clearly there are people who are interested in doing this, right? So like deposits, several in rapid succession. See that? At least 5 deposits about 20 hours ago, roughly. And there may have been more. It tells you that your IP address right there. So it even gives you the instructions, right? Use a different IP address for your deposit versus your withdrawal. Use Tor browser. And yeah, it's simple, guys. Tor browser is it's a free download. So that's the way to go there. I've really gone down a pretty deep rabbit hole here tonight. Let me jump into our Bitcoin chart. That'll be fun. Oh, yeah, it does not fail to disappoint. Actually, it's a little bit disappointing right now, but let me get rid of that guy right there. Zoom way the heck out. Yep, our ascending triangle chopsticks, they were no good here. They're like a Jedi mind trick against Watto. We just looked stupid. So, yeah, that flash crash was a thing of beauty for people who had their orders in. They were loaded up. I know a person who literally caught the knife down here in the $39,000 range. You see it if you look for it. Was it 39? No, I'm sorry, I'm reading a different line there. They did catch the bottom of the falling knife though. They didn't catch it here, right where it settled. Right, the bottom of the candlestick. They caught like midway or all the way down on the wick for that flash crash. It was crazy it was crazy times. The person is just like super happy with that though. But guys, if we zoom way out, I mean, really when all's said and done, we just got to play. We pretty much just got to play just the tip with 50K again. That's all that happened. Once, twice, 3 times a reckoning. There we go. Yeah, got wrecked on that third attempt. Shut down. And it looks like unless we see some massive corrective price action, our 50-day. Now, first off, it's dragging our 200-day down. Maybe we don't actually see a death cross here. Cryptid Youth, the droids bought the bottom. Suck it, bots. Yeah, who knows? Maybe we do bounce off the 200-day again. But, like, guys, this is not my forte. I don't do this stuff. We are flipping bullish again, though, here on the MACD, so that's good, right? That's a good thing. Chopsticks, get over here. I'm feeling awkward. I don't know what to do with my hands. And we'll put our chopsticks back over here. Make these as awkward as possible. Here we go. And this is the inverse conical chopstick pattern. Patent pending. Join my paid group. And we're going to turn it into an obtuse angle. Bitcoin could go any one of these directions indefinitely. But you must create an operation based on tangent. I'm just kidding. I think we are going to see a little bit of crawling sideways, though, because I don't know who saw that coming. I think some of us saw maybe a little bit of correction coming, but Cryptid Youth, draw Bart Simpson in that. You almost could for today. And not quite. I don't think I see any relevant Bart Simpsons. Beto, thanks for checking in with us, man. And, John Jermaine, I've heard of those chopsticks called a megaphone before. Yeah, it's awesome. If you hold them just the right direction, you can say, wrecked! And you can warn your neighbors. It's great. But, yeah. Not even going to pretend, guys. I think we are very likely now to, if anything, if we do see it push back up again, I think just a random prediction here. We're going to go back to playing just the tip with 50K. We don't get to see 53 again. Like, we don't get to see a wick up to 53 again. I had to guess. We get to see wicks up lower than that. And then boop, 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 down. Getting questions about business development in the comment section. Ian says, Mighty Bros, let's say I had a good idea for a DeFi thingy. You know where I could find people to create it? Well, what kind of a thingy? Email me, bro. Let's chat. Maybe I can direct you to some people. Guys, I think I should probably call it a night. I had a lot of fun, and we could keep on talking for a while. Do you want me to do some breakout content based on tonight's live stream? Because we've touched on so much, and I've been really distant as far as making good, like, post-produced content that is a little more short and tactical. Do you want me to make something like that, or should we do some more live stream sessions like this where we do a much more open Q&A? You let me know what would help you the most. What would you like the most? Because I've had a great time tonight. Hey, thank you again, Pirate Tube. Really appreciate you for that super chat. That puts a little extra pep in my step when we see a nice, very healthy super chat come in like that. It's a very kind thing, kind gesture. So, let's see. Ariel says, yes, clip some of these vids. Okay, so maybe just like chop up some of this then. Next Era Gamer. Do we have to choose? Kinda. I am doing a bit of I'm doing a bit more consistent work, and side hustles are like just mopping the floor with me right now. So Next Era Gamer is offering to edit the live streams down. You guys want to see that? We could do that. I mean, yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much for being subscribed, hitting the thumbs up button, hitting the bell icon. If you have questions or you want to do outreach for projects, I am doing a lot of, like, I've got paid reviews coming up. Just heads up. I'll always warn you if it is paid media. But I do talk, like, to members of the community. If you've got a quick question, I'm perfectly happy to send you an email back. You can always hit me up at the stuff that the contact numbers and info that you see down below in the comments section, down below in the description of the video. So you can always hit me up, and I'm happy to give you some time, kind of chat through whatever it is you need there. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing the video, clicking all the socials, smashing all the buttons. Guys, you're the reason I make this media. I love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. If you want to be notified of videos like this in the future, first off, click subscribe, press the bell icon. Additionally, you can sign up for the Mind Your Biz email newsletter. That'll give you exclusive access to certain freebies, notifications for deals within the cryptocurrency mining space, as well as some of our flash sales for merchandise, which you can buy with cryptocurrency. That's right. It's the only cryptocurrency merch that you can buy with cryptocurrency. We practice what we preach. As always, thank you so much for watching. You're the reason I make this media. I love your face, and I will see you in the next one.